Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo. This is our MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and online. This is our online awakening panel. The theme tonight is Summer of Love, self-care, relationships, and dating. We have maybe 9 practitioners here tonight that will be answering questions from the audience. We all practice different modalities and we're all passionate about self-care and relationships. Thanks so much for the support from everyone in the room. I deeply appreciate that. It's a nice big event with lots of energy. So we're going to go through and have the practitioners introduce themselves. They'll share a bit about what they do. They'll talk about the theme, and then I'll set the container for how we're going to be answering questions tonight. I will put basic information about the event in the chat in just a moment as we start doing the introductions, and that'll have information for how you can pay to ask a question. If you've already paid to ask a question, please let me know so I make sure to get you. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted. Yeah, thanks so much, except for those of us that are sharing. Yeah, so thanks so much for being here. Look for the information in the chat, and we've got more people I recognize that are joining the Zoom. All right, let's see. I was going to spotlight us, and let me see if I can spotlight us now. Some reason that wasn't working for me. There we go. All right, spotlighting is starting. So you'll get to see all the practitioners that are here on the panel tonight. Some of the practitioners are new, their first event with us. It's very exciting. And let me go find where more of us are. I know there are more of us here. Here we go. Yeah, please, everyone, if you can stay muted, that would be great. And I think there's maybe just me. Maybe I have to go find myself. Maybe that's it. All right, great. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll have Henry share first, and then Audrey, and then Stacy. So go ahead and take like 2.5 minutes to tell us about who you are and what you do.
Hi, hello everybody. It's quite good.
And Henry, we're having trouble with your internet. I'm going to turn off your video.
Okay, great.
Okay, go ahead and share now.
Is it better now? No,
yes, it is.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
It is. Go ahead.
So, can you go on to the next person? I'm gonna restart my router.
Sure, go ahead. And I see we have more people I have to remove. So let's go. Yeah, some of you are trying to warn me about that. Let's go see who wants to leave the meeting. And okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Let's see. So we're gonna have Audrey and then Stacy and then Joy. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. My name is Audrey Lee. I specialize in astrology, numerology, tarot, destiny cards, and the talking to the spirits. One of the things I do is the destiny card system. It is a particular go-to for me for relationships. Whenever people ask me about their relationships, I can see from the system how you were related in a past life, if there was one, and by the karmic a sequential path, how you come together in the purpose that you are here together, why you're learning from each other. So it is really usually a very interesting story. And of course, I help you understand the duration where you are in a relationship. If you need to communicate with each other, I'm the kind of the mediator, or I'm the antenna in between two people, two lovers. So, there's just so much to understand in relationships because the other person is our mirror in this lifetime, right? So, okay. I love talking with all of you about your relationship or any kind of a general question. I can be found at audreyleemetaphysics.com. I look forward to talking with you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Audrey. And I'm like, where were we going? Oh, that's right. So we're going next. Let's see. I think it was Joy and then Stacy and then Stephanie.
Thank you, Lorelei. My name is Joy Lee. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, and I'm certified in hand mudras. The term mudras is Sanskrit for gesture, And like Reiki, hand mudras are a form of energy healing, meaning I use hand mudras to balance and heal a person's energies or issues. With hand mudras, one can address things such as energy or chakra blockages, energy balancing, release of negative energies, emotional and physical issues, and much more. I also work remotely as well as in person. I'm also a distributor of LifeWave patches, which operate on the principle of phototherapy to induce dramatic healing and revitalizing results. And I do intuitive readings with Oracle decks. You can contact me by phone 805-450-7180 or by email joyfullove144, that's with one L, JOYFULOVE 144 @gmail.com. My event specials are 30 minutes for $25 or 50 minutes for $40, with the first 30-minute consultation free. And really great theme we have tonight. I strongly believe that love is the strongest force in the universe and very much believe in healthy, happy, supportive, and loving relationships. So I'm so delighted and grateful to be here with all these wonderful and gifted people. Excited to be here and look forward to working with you.
Thanks so much, Joy. Stacy, I think, is next. Stacy and then Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. I am Stacy Bronco. My pronouns are she and her. I am an energy healer for people and their pets, or pets and their people. I work with energy, but I'm also a medium. I work with pendulums and tarot cards, as well as channeling. I do build personalized healing plans based on all of my modalities and specialties. I include NLP and hypnotherapy also in that. I've been a personal trainer for mostly women for the majority of my adult life, so I also bring that in. On my website, you can find 50% off of my services, as well as free discovery calls if you attended tonight. So I look forward to working with you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie Buckland, intuitive Reiki practitioner. I am a holistic lifestyle coach. I am full of love. In fact, I started doing energy healing in my early 20s, just on intuition. I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to share love with the world. And I was just sitting in meditation, asking for love energy that I could share with people. And then 10 years later became a Reiki practitioner and realized that there was a little bit of a difference, but not that much of a difference, in Reiki energy and love energy. And so I call myself a love warrior, and you can find me on most of the socials as the #1 love warrior. I am a healer. I am a coach. I am a business support person. I'm a connector. I do so much with my business and absolutely love to talk about love. And actually, this is a partner event with my event, and I'm super excited about that. The Summer Integrated Wellness Expo and Conference. We only have one more day left. Tomorrow is a full day of speakers, and you can still get tickets and get the replays. We're going to have the replays for another week, so you can see the whole conference even though you missed it. So I encourage you to come check that out. And thank you, Lorelai, so much for creating this. I so appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Oh, and you can reach me at stephaniebuckland.com. I forget about that.
That's great. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've got people attempting to join here through text and things like that. Okay, I need someone else I need to remove. Just a moment, everyone. And I'm so sorry about that. Okay, someone else out. All right. I don't remember who's next. I know Sadie and Asante haven't introduced themselves yet, and Jay Angel probably has not. So go ahead.
Hi there, I'm Sadie.
Hello, I'm Asante.
We are Merkaba Heart, We are energy healing practitioners. We utilize sound healing and shamanic practices. We're especially passionate about bringing the sacred masculine and sacred feminine together to heal wounded feminine and wounded masculine energies. So we're really inspired to support people in healthy relationships. We know that we all come into this life inheriting a lot of unhealthy patterns and relationship behaviors and patterns that we get from our ancestors, from our family, from society, from Hollywood movies. So we are excited to utilize our sound healing and shamanic practices to clear those patterns, those ancestral patterns, those personal patterns from our body, mind, and spirit to support our healthier relationships with ourselves, first and foremost, with spirit, which is without that, it's hard to relate healthily with ourselves and with others. So yeah, a healthy relationship with the earth. You know, it's all about relating and clearing those unhealthy patterns. Yeah, so we are really excited to be here, and you can find out more about us at merkabahart.com. We look forward to the evening and are just really excited about the topic.
Thank you so much. Great to hear from you. We've got Jay Angel and then Henry.
Hello, everyone. Jay Angel here. My pronouns are he, him, and this is my first time in this panel. I am born and raised in Puerto Rico and now located in the Seattle area, where I am a sourcing specialist during the day and a mystic at night. I help people to connect with their higher self and their own purpose. And I would like to say that since I was a child, I feel that I have experienced life in a very unique way, almost as if there were no filters in my eyes and brains. And that encouraged me to pursue my own journey and discovery, and connected me with my higher self and my spirit guides. My practice is mainly intuitive reading and energy healing. I work with energies, and all of my intentions are sent to the archangels and all the angels and spirit guides that support me on this journey. And I would like to stress a lot that self-care and self-love has played such a big role in my own journey, but also I feel that the only way that you could experience self-love is when you start to discover your authentic self, when you let go of expectations, and when you learn not to only tolerate, but to accept every part of your body and soul just because it is. And I am so excited to be here to support you in your own journey. You can find me at the highportal.square.site. I literally just launched my website this week. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jay Angel. All right, let's see. And then did we say is Henry next? Is that right? Go ahead.
Yes, you did. So how are we doing? Do I have a better connection now?
It is much better. I'm so glad.
Yeah, nothing like restarting the router. Okay, so Henry India Holden here at henryindiaholden.com. I am many things, but what I've been kind of called, life has been calling me to more lately is being a life coach. I'm also a mystic, so I have direct experiences with the divine, and that certainly informs my life coaching. And it's been going on my whole life, and my mom was like that too, so it's kind of generational with us. And earlier this year, I took a course in eco-psychology, so that's become a huge part of my life coaching with regard to incorporating the more than human world, as I've been taught to call it, which is the plants and the animals, and not to use them as an, oh, I'm going to go into nature and then that's going to make me feel better, but to have this be a reciprocal relationship. And I'm finding that when people are doing things like somebody has referred to this as tree sitting, like just being with a tree and having interactions with the trees, that can have a profound impact. on health and on connectedness, you know, and relationships really are that, they're connectedness, and we're used to having relationships with each other, and then the complexity of that. The relationships between humans are probably the most complex relationships. Well, probably all the primates are very complex relationships. And so I really love being here with the Summer of Love and with this relationship and dating and self-care. So somebody said, you know, you start with loving yourself, and it's absolutely true. You really, you can give of yourself tremendous amounts, even if you don't love yourself or don't quite love yourself. But to really love someone else starts with yourself. Loving yourself somehow sets the ground, it tills the field in which then you plant that love that you have with someone else. I found my husband on Match.com. I had a complete awakening being on Match.com, realizing that to just get off of, this is my list, this is all the stuff that you need to be and do. And then also a little bit about myself, more like, oh, maybe what you care about is what will happen for you if you're with me. So it became outward facing, and that just called to the universe, and a person came into my life who had that same awakening in their own way. So I feel that I can be really helpful with how do you create a relationship that is truly devoted and divinely guided, and also just sort of divinely imbued. So I just so look forward to hearing all your messages and all your questions and see how I can be of help. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Henry. We've also had Marcy join us. Marcy, did you want to introduce yourself? We got to unmute you first. Marcy, yeah, let's get you unmuted. Yeah, Marcy, you're still not unmuted. Oh yeah, we got to get Bonnie in here. Where's
Are we
Bonnie?
good?
Oh, we did, yeah. Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. My name is Marcy. I have been a shaman in past lives. I have been doing clairaudience, clairvoyant, clairsentient, psychokinesis, sound Reiki, medic intuitive for the last 40 years. I've written several books. I've been a co-host on several radio shows, and I have been a guest on several radio shows. My energy, it's like I go into people's energy astrally or physically, or with my sounds, I just dissipate lower energy like coal as to into like diamond energy, like crystalline energy. So I channel the masters with my sound. So a lot of times we have many dimensions and many energies. So when I do my tones, it hits to the right side of the brain where it hits the serotonin, and lifetimes will come through, past lives, post-traumatic. It's not linear. And so a lot of times it's just very much guided. And I've been doing this, and I've seen so many results on so many people as they release that emotional weight. They just feel a lot lighter. I was just trying to make it simple.
Thanks so much, Marcy. And then, yeah, Bonnie, have you introduced yourself? Oh, you're muted. Let's get you unmuted.
Hi, y'all. Bonnie Rigsby here with Let Your Soul Breathe. So we are all about stress management. So I consider it kind of a big umbrella. We do many things to handle stress because there's 7.9 billion people on the planet, all with unique talents and gifts. So each person has something different that works for them. So I consider myself a lifetime student. I like to always learn and add new modalities under my umbrella. So that will be ever changing based on the needs of the community. As of right now, we help with current needs. So we do that in a variety of ways, things like life and soul coaching, Reiki energetic healing, sound and crystal healing, intuitive guidance. I love to teach classes about authenticity and empowerment because I am all about helping to teach you how to do things that you can do on your own, so you can step into your power and find your peace, joy, and purpose. So I not only help people in a current state of stress, I love to build proactive programs. My goal is to help our young people, as young as preschoolers, kindergartners, our kids, the next generation, learn how to manage their emotions when they are young, so that they don't carry this buried pain their entire lives and become hot messes like us adults. You turn on the TV, you tell me what a hot mess we are from carrying that pain for so long. I am also skilled at helping you learn how to love yourself again, or love yourself for the first time if you've never been blessed to have that feeling. Once we learn who we really are on the inside, not the layers that we've accumulated because someone told us we had to be labeled in a certain way. Once we dig in and do the you work, we discover beautiful aspects of ourselves, and we can live in our peace and power, y'all, and love ourselves again. So I am here to help you. I would love to help anyone that has needs. Visit my site, letyoursoulbreathe.com. Thank y'all for having me here today. And when you love yourself, you're going to love everybody else better. So I hope we can help you learn to do that, taking that first step today.
Thanks so much, Bonnie. All right, have all practitioners introduced themselves? I know we have a great big group today. And then I'll share briefly about me, as we've got more people landing in the waiting room, and I want to let them really in. I want to let them in if they're really here for the event. I know you can't share me on screen at the moment. I'm just going to take one of us off and put me on. I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes, read your body, get a sense of what's happening for you. In your eyes, I particularly read your soul. I think that we all read each other's eyes all the time. If you think about when you meet someone with dark sunglasses, or you're doing online dating and the person has dark sunglasses on in their photo, right? All this stuff that you can see as soon as you can see my eyes was missing. It can be quite frustrating. And for me, that's an example of evidence that we all see so much in each other's eyes, right? The difference from here to here. Another way that I can see that we're all reading something is that when I work with people about dating and choosing a new partner, or even with someone that's in a relationship right now, if I look back at past partners, we almost always choose the same type of partner over and over, the same patterns in their eyes over and over. It's not the color of their eyes. It's not something like that. It's the energy that we read in people's eyes. So I use what I perceive in people's eyes to read your soul and have you better understand yourself, give yourself permission to do what's authentic, that you love, that you feel energized by, and to let go the things that aren't really you. It's also great for love and relationships and matchmaking. If you better understand your partner, better understand anyone you're in a relationship with, a coworker, a child, a parent, it enables you to have an easier relationship with them and to know how to support them in being them while you support yourself in being you. It's a way to be less defensive and just have it be so much less messy. And we know who to go to and connect with for various things. It's great in the workplace. In dating, I think it's great to be with people who are similar to us, soulmates. In business, it's great if we are good at different things, because we usually need to do different things in the business. And in a relationship, it's about a deep connection. And I find that that's the best when we have a lot in common with the other person. When we are very different, it takes a lot of energy and skillfulness to meet each other. And when we're met by someone who's so similar, we become more loving of ourselves. So I use this work to help soulmates find each other online by helping people write a profile that shares who they really are, choose photos, and there are tips for how to take photos that share who people really are. And then also, I'm recognizing people in the waiting room. So write their profile, change their photos, and then we screen eyes on online dating sites to find soulmates for people. That's what I do with people. I love this work. It's great fun. There are all kinds of tips for how to navigate connecting with someone that's a soulmate. It's very different than someone who's very different than us, or often we're choosing people like our parents and our family of origin. So that's what I do. And I'm just so excited to talk about all this tonight as part of the panel. We have 10 of us on the panel. I'm going to take myself off and get Marcy back on, and it's a possibility that we might split into 2 rooms. Let's see how this goes. And I'm so excited being here all together. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. So let me see several things before we start. I haven't looked at PayPal yet to see if anyone's paid. If anyone has paid to ask a question, please let me know in the chat so I can get you right in line. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to practice opening to their intuition. So get something to write with, write down, scribble, draw, anything that's coming through for you. It's a great opportunity to see if the way we answer is similar to what's coming through you. So you get confirmation that you're tapping in similar ways as we all are. It doesn't mean that you're not connecting if you get something that we don't mention. There's tons of stuff that could be mentioned. We only have a few minutes each. It's great confirmation though when this does happen. This is a great opportunity for everyone to learn from everything that is shared, and all that is answered, all that is answered, all that is asked. And then this is a public setting. Clearly, we're recording. We're going to be posting this online. When you ask a question, and thanks so much for being of service, asking in public, if we go deeper than you want us to go, or if we talk about topics you don't want us sharing about here in this format, please go ahead and give us guidance from the beginning or interrupt us if we're going directions you don't want us to go. We want to honor you in our response. So important to us. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do to get going. I will put more information in the chat. Put more information in the chat. And yeah, people are mentioning, I met my partner on Match. I met my partner after 6 weeks of being online. I only wrote to like 35 people. Like, it can be done really efficiently. We use all these tools. All right, we all have great approaches for how to do this. Well, let's see. Let me go see if anyone is paid to ask a question already, because I have not looked yet. And if you have already done that, let me know. Yeah, and all of us are available too. I posted in the chat information from everyone. We're all available to connect offline. We do private sessions with people. Yes, we're all available for that. And let's see, I might have anyone paid to ask a question yet. I haven't checked everywhere. So let's see. So maybe for those that are in, maybe for those on the panel that are in relationship, let me just figure out, for who are in relationship, how did you meet your partner? And for those of you that are not in relationship, how are you meeting people? Maybe let's just go around and chat about that while we're waiting for people to jump in. Who wants to go? Just go ahead, popcorn, all of you, unmute and go ahead and share, and we'll sort that out.
I met my wife on, against all my better judgment, on a website called pinkcupid.com. And it's 7 years strong and going, so I can't complain.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's why I met my partner on Match, and it's been 6 years in August, I think. Who else? And some of you, I know you met your partners long ago. Yeah, go ahead.
I met my partner, Stephen, 18 years ago on Match.com. And I had this long list, as I mentioned, I had this long list of what I wanted: sharp dresser, good dancer. I can't even imagine why that would matter now. That's so wild how we grow. And then I saw this profile by someone else posting, and it started out with, if you were in a relationship with me, here's what you would experience. And this person painted a picture, and it was such an awakening for me to, rather than to think about myself and what I need, and that being informed by my disappointments or the pain that I've experienced or the suffering I've gone through in relationships, that kind of shaped the list. It was like a list of what I want, but really it was a list of what I don't want. So I don't want a slovenly person. I don't want somebody who doesn't listen. So then I would say, I want a good listener. And when I shifted my focus from what I wanted to what I had to offer, it was a game changer. It changed my life right then and there. It even made life coaching possible. Really, everything that I am today is in part influenced by thinking about what to give. Now, right here is a little trick though, because if there's not enough self-love and if there's not the ability to set boundaries, then you just can become a doormat where it's like, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna give everything I've got, and then hopefully you'll give something back. But when you have good boundaries, then you become aware if it's only you doing, if only you're being outward facing. So that's what I work with people a lot about, how to set boundaries, and not walls, but boundaries as in, you know who you are, you know what works for you, and you can simply state that and simply convey that without making the other person wrong or diminishing them in any way. So this is what I work with people a lot on, and how to bring nature in.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. I want to hear from other people too. If you're in relationship, how did you meet your partner? And if you're not, how are you connecting with people now, if you are connecting with people?
So I'm in the category of not having anybody. Actually, I haven't had anybody for 25 years or ever since I had my baby. So, when I was young, I was one of those very passionate people. I just wanted to have whatever that looked good, right? For a 20-year-old, I thought, oh, hot, or oh, so so bright, so cute, so whatever. Yeah, I was looking to be impressed, and then so I always picked the wrong kinds of guys. And so finally, after learning the lessons over and over, I decided that I was like a spiritual person. I'm good into my own world now, and then so I left it at that for quite a while. And I've been alone by myself for all these years, and I'm kind of happy with my own spiritual world. But that's not to say for most people that you want to be, everybody has your own journey, right? So I'm here to help anybody, any of my friends do their own thing. So, but one thing I want to mention, I think will be a good add to our conversation right here. And I know that I do astrology. So in astrology, there's a Venus and Mars, and those are the indicators that we can look into our chart to find our love journey. And so one thing that I discover is the secondary progression. I don't want to get too technical here. So it shows me that in my life, in those early years from 17, 18, 20, in my 20s or into 30s, I had the Venus Mars in a square, which is a difficult, lack of communication and just not knowing what I was doing. But eventually they kind of just move out of the path. And so supposedly by my age now, 60-ish, 60, I should have very lovely, wonderful relationships, but I'm not in a relationship. But anyway, I'm thinking that perhaps in life it plays out like I'm mature now, and maybe I allow people to be who they are, and me not wanting to expect anything so much and always expecting the wrong thing. But anyway, I'm still learning. Every day that I'm alive, I'm learning. So that's my 2 cents.
Thanks so much, Audrey. Yeah, who else wants to share?
I guess I will. I've done a lot of soul searching, releasing, and as I do energy work, and I've done readings online, I've done reading and healings, where a lot of times we're frequency. So a lot of times our energies won't match, or our energies will match at a certain time, and then we'll outgrow that person. And so as I've continually growing myself, I have found out that I've not matched people that I've had before. And so as I continually, they say chemistry is unresolved issues from our past. And I've noticed that I had a pattern before, but then as I grew and I changed, I don't have that chemistry anymore. So I've just been focusing on healing, loving, teaching, people as to whether they connect or they don't connect, or trying to force it, or if they have resistance, or if people connect at that certain frequency. So a lot of times I just try to feel whether those people connect or not, and just worked on myself.
Thanks so much, Marcy. Yeah, anyone else want to share?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'll share how we met. My name's Asante with Merkaba Heart, and Sadie and I met at a little coffee shop that we had been going to. We had seen each other for over a year in there, and neither of us talked to each other until one day
We were
Sadie,
shy.
yeah, we were both shy, but we knew something was there, and Sadie broke the ice, and since then, that day, it was on. 2 weeks later, at our favorite cemetery, I asked her to marry me, and 4 months later, we were married in India. And after having an astrological reading on the best time, place to get married, and it has been a really wonderful, wild ride. And we've really learned how to manage and work a very healthy relationship by addressing our codependencies and unhealthy traumas that were in our life so that we could connect more in a more healthy way. Working on my healthy sacred masculine, removing toxic behaviors, and
yeah, and we say wonderful relationship. That doesn't mean it's been not challenging, because it has been. Like, yeah, it's not been all rainbows and unicorns, but when we got together, we very intentionally wanted to have a partner to support us in our spiritual growth, to support each other in growing and always, moving forward. And what we didn't know is that meant that we had to go through a whole hell of a lot of stuff to get to the other side, which we're still working on. I mean, we all know this is a long journey, right?
yes.
But yeah, so it's a lot of work, these healthy relationships. I really resonated with what you said, Lorelei, about finding, when there's so many differences, it's a lot of work to move through that.
It
and
is.
Learning how to do so skillfully, and that's not something that we came in with. We didn't really have a lot of those skills, so we've been learning as we go. And yeah, it's an adventure.
It is
for
an
sure.
adventure. And we are twin flames, so we definitely challenge each other constantly.
Big time.
And that really helps us grow in a really profound way. So I'm very grateful to have her.
Likewise. And here we are.
Here we are.
Great. Thanks so much. All right. We have had someone step in to ask a question. So again, I'm going to play with taking turns, like removing different ones of us, so people can come up and ask. Faith, did you want to come up on screen? It's up to you.
Sure.
Video, and I'll spotlight you. Okay, great. All right. What is your question?
Okay, I have like a two-parter, and I feel like super vulnerable asking this question. I don't know why, or these questions. So I just recently got out of a relationship that I thought was going to be like my life partner, and I was betrayed. And so there were already some shutdowns within me for like my first and second chakra. Just I wasn't feeling them. I wasn't in my body either most of the time. But eventually I do want a partner or partners. And so I want to be more open. And I've always had a problem with internet dating. It's just like never been exciting to me. Like I can't get excited about the person or people. And so there's a little bit of a, how do you do that? Or should one even push through that if it's just not their thing? And then I guess the other question is, how do you know when you're ready to start dating? If you're in like a situation where I've been burned, betrayed, but I want to be open to love, like romantic love. I feel like I'm open to other love.
All right, great. Yeah, so these are great questions to have together. I know I've got answers, probably some others do too. So practitioners, ideally raise your hand in Zoom so I know that you're ready. And then I can always jump in and start first. Yeah, and so we'll take turns on the spotlight. And all right, maybe I'll start. Okay, I'm just going to remove one of us and put me back in. And it looks like we don't have an enormous number of questions at the moment, so we may stay all here in this one place. All right, so first answer I'll say is that one thing to be careful about in terms of getting ready to start dating again is often people don't realize, oh yeah, and Henry's next. Oh, we've got Henry and Sadie in line too. Sorry if I didn't notice your hands. A lot of people, and I'm going to time myself, a lot of people don't realize that they're ready to start dating until they're attracted to someone again. And if they haven't done some work to shift and change, they're often attracted to the same types of people. So it's great to be asking these questions and to be playing with shifting yourself and doing things differently now. I don't think there's any specific when one's ready. If one's, kind of in one's escaping connecting with oneself and loving oneself by going to date, then it would be great to spend a little more time with oneself. And we're all in whatever stage of journey we are with that process of loving ourselves, right? There's endlessly more to do. So I don't think we have to wait until like we're perfect before we love someone. Like that's ridiculous. We'll never date. I think choosing to date healthier and healthier people, that's great. It's a great lesson. It's this, so it's growth by dating someone, right? Online dating doesn't work as well for people with some archetypes. And to me, you have some of the, for example, like the server archetype and probably the artisan archetype that are both really sensitive. So energetically sensitive and sensitive to feelings, emotions. And so being on the computer is probably not great for you. And then it feels so impersonal connecting with people that way. So those are things that make it a little more challenging. So one thing I was look at particular types of sites for you, things like Bumble, where both people have to like each other before someone can write. That'll minimize the amount of stuff you have to do and have to deal with. You also want to share about your sensitivity and even the hesitance to be online if you're going to go online. That you want someone else that's really sensitive. And then if people don't share in a way that really honors that in the beginning, right? They're gone. I have tricks for how to write to people. I use the process of appreciate, ask, reveal. So choosing people that seem like they're going to be energetically sensitive to you, whether you work with me or someone else. Someone's trying to get in the room that says petrify. We're not going to let them in. This is crazy. Sorry about this. Crazy. Yeah, so and sharing photos that show your sensitivity in your photos too. It's really important that you're you and look for other people that are sensitive. And I know that you can find other people. I don't remember what city you're in. I'm almost out of time.
I'm currently in San Diego, but I'm moving towards Bellingham.
Okay, great. Bellingham is a great place. There are lots of people that are energetically sensitive there. That's really lovely. I know people up there, and so probably connections of other people that I know. And yeah, I think that if we, just given COVID, it's that much harder to meet people out socializing. And if there are enough activities that we like to do where we're likely to meet people, let yourself look at the people and connect with people. The thing with online dating that's so great is you know that everyone there is wanting to date. So it gets over the fear of having to talk to someone the first time, just like Sadie and Asante, right, went through. Yeah, so there's a little bit from me. And then we've got Henry and Sadie and Asante, and then Audrey, and then Stephanie. All right, go ahead, Henry.
Hi, Faith. Thank you for being so courageous and asking, stepping out as the first one to ask a question. And I really like how you're close to the camera. I get to see you. That's very nice. So I completely second everything that Lorelei was saying. Lorelei is really, really good at what they're doing. So the first thing that I found was I wasn't ready until I spent a year by myself without dating anyone. And it wasn't just a year where I'm like, well, I'm not dating anyone. It was a year where I'm like, okay, I'm not satisfied. Well, what will fulfill that? And then I would work on that. And okay, so I'm still, something is missing, and I would work on that, because so the goal was to spend that year to become emotionally fulfilled, not in a way that relied on someone else or some specific other person or one person only, but community. So I was building community, and I was building my own internal resilience and my own, if I want you to make me feel better. Okay, well, what can I do to make myself feel better? So that made a profound difference. And interestingly enough, this was the 1 year where I got more proposals for dating than at any other time in my life. So I think there's something about that when you become really grounded in yourself. And so there was a lot of spiritual work as well. So that's what I recommend for you, is just getting really grounded in yourself, so that when you pick up connecting with someone, that you can, instead of being in this, oh, I hope he likes me, or she, or they, or am I acceptable, or which is all over here, this concern over here. When you get really grounded and seated in yourself, you can be over there with them. And that does two things. One, it really gives them an experience of you when you're present to them, but also you really get to see who they are. Because when your attention is on, how am I coming across? Do they like me? Am I okay? That you don't get to experience who they are, and you don't really know what you're getting into. Whereas if that's handled to some extent, we're human beings, it's an ongoing process. But when it's handled enough, you can be really over there with them. them, and you can be still and you can be present and see how they reveal themselves, which gives you a very good sense of whether this is a good connection. And I've also found that gives them a good sense of who you are and whether they even want to connect with you. And so,
Yeah,
so
and finish up in the last second.
oh yeah, okay. So okay, great. So that's good enough. That's good enough. I hope that's been helpful.
Thanks so much, Henry. We've got Sadie and Asante, and then Audrey, Stephanie, Bonnie, and Jay Angel.
Hi, Faith. When I was hearing you, I find oftentimes we have our own answers, and what you were saying is everything you needed to hear. You have some work to do on your root and sacral chakra. You've got some grief and sorrow to work through, some little bit of bitterness and anger, to work through before trying to connect with another person. So it sounds like you need to take some time with yourself and really work through some of those things and clear. I mean, we've always got stuff we're going to be working with, right? If we waited until we were perfect, none of us would be in relationships at all. So there's always stuff to be working with, of course. But it sounds like there's some things that are up for you right now that getting really doing some work with your root and sacral chakra, that's your foundation. It would be a really helpful and beneficial place to start. I really love what what Henry was saying about allowing a year and just continuing to work with
Yes.
filling your own needs, fulfilling your own needs instead of looking outwards. Because I know, especially when we've been hurting, we look to somebody else to help, fill that void for us. And then, yeah, we're right back in the same patterns, doing the same things. So, yeah. Thanks for your question.
All right, great. Next, we've got Audrey and then Stephanie.
Hello. Okay, so the first thing I see for you is that you're kind of like a glass of beer. We have the top, the foam part, and then the lower part is a drink. Right, so it's like there are two sides of you. The lower side is, yeah, I'm very open. I'm looking forward to relationships. I'm really, I am really a relationship person. And then the subconscious part of you says, I'm very skeptical, very critical, or I laid out these criterias. So, I do see the two. It's like push and pull. Like I want relationships, but then I push it away a little. So, I feel that, of course, these are probably the programming of the previous experiences. And today, the spirit, I have a lady spirit here, and she's dressed like the foam, or dressed like a snowflake, that kind of thing. So white, and so she tells me that she says that you want to lean on your instinct as you go into your future, instead of waiting for, instead of relying on the information, the knowledge, like, do you have a good job? Do you have good family? Do you have good, this and that, all the, different criteria that you set up, right? So you want to lean on your instinct a lot more, like the blind faith, or how we connect to our higher realm, how our higher spirits, like, oh, do I feel connected with him? Do I have that inner connection? Do we speak the same language? Instead of what's on earth, on the earthly level, the financial, the status, and all of that, because all of that has not really been quite good in the past. So, going into the future, there will be somebody who comes to you as a very different type of person, but then you are, in the meantime, this is the time for you to do some of your own conditioning, right? So sometimes in astrology, we say, oh, when we go into like a Neptune period where it has to be a long time before we do the next thing. But maybe that is because the planet, the universe is giving us a lot of time to prepare ourselves. So you are in this period. I'm not saying that it's going to be a long time. I feel that it's actually very fast that you may meet somebody new, but it will be a different kind of a person than the one that you had before.
Thanks so much, Audrey. We've got Stephanie and Bonnie next.
Hi, Faith. So I am a self-healer. And a lot of that self-healing has been how to be in love with myself, how to take care of myself, how to be like my biggest hero and like screw everybody else. We don't need anybody else. That has been a good thing because it's really bolstered my strength and allowed me to move through the challenging parts of relationships. Because anytime that stuff comes up, I can go back to myself like, okay, it's okay. I can heal. It's gonna be fine, you know. And so I think that's my first piece of advice for you, is to give you permission to heal yourself, because you are a self-healer. It is innate and built into you. You can do this. You don't need anyone else's help. Secondly, the strongest, I agree with Joy, one of the most powerful energies on the earth is love, but there are supportive practices that help us lead ourselves back to love. And so one of them is huge for me, it's forgiveness. That can help soften the bitterness. It can help to heal some of the wounds. And so it's not just forgiveness for the people that have harmed you, but it's also forgiveness for yourself, for getting yourself into those situations. You know, just let it go. Okay, I made a mistake. It's no big deal. I'm human. Okay, fine. You know I need help. Okay, fine. You know, it's like recognizing that we're all on this path, on this journey, and every step we take is an opportunity for possibilities. And so trusting that tomorrow will be easier is a really good one. You know, okay, today was kind of crappy, but tomorrow will be easier. That's the bolstering I was talking about. It's like you can build in practices into your consciousness, that anytime you're faced with challenges, you know what to do. So like reading self-help books honestly helped me a lot in my 20s. In my 30s, though, as I got older, I really needed people. I needed reflections. I needed to see people and see how they were and who they were. And so I looked to my community, especially the community of people that were in relationship, to see how they were in relationship. Just examine, this is an amazing relationship. I want to know why. How is this so beautiful?
Yeah, anything else you want to share for completing your?
No, that's actually, that was probably where I was going to stop anyway. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Stephanie. We've got Bonnie and J. Angel next.
Hi, Faith. Bonnie here. Beautiful smile, lady. You'll get that back on a more regular basis. So do have faith that that is coming, Faith, okay? Now, I get a lot when I'm tuning into your energy. Now, I feel a lot of sadness. I feel a lot of self-worth issues. Betrayal will do that. Know this, betrayal has emptied your cup in a lot of ways. It's simply a matter of filling that cup back up, and it does take time. There's a lot of information coming in. Are you a nature girl per se? Do you enjoy nature?
Love it. Yeah, I live for it.
Okay, I kind of felt that. Do you spend a lot of time in nature right now?
I'm surrounded, you know, here in San Diego, it's not hard to find. So,
Okay.
but I am in the city.
Okay, but you need more of an escape to nature. So definitely consider that a form of your church for your healing, because there are animal totems out there waiting for you to get back into nature to help give you some signs and symbols for your healing process. Now, some of the stuff that's coming in as well is not getting attached to a specific outcome. So a lot of times we build things up in our mind, and there's nothing wrong with saying, I want this, I don't want this, I want this, I don't want this. There's nothing wrong with having that kind of a checklist, but try not to put too much energy into building the perfect human on a pedestal, because it does make it hard for humanity to sustain that. You know what I mean? All of us are human. We're all on that human roller coaster of emotion. So we're going to be kind of Heinz 57. You know, we all come from different patterns and bloodlines and cultures and experiences. You are going to find the person that is the perfect match for you. But don't spend too much time building what is that going to look like. It's when you can train yourself to dive within, like everyone's been saying. Rebuild yourself from the pain that has come to you and that you have experienced. Get a full cup again, and then don't get attached to the outcome. Say, okay, you'll know you're ready when you're ready. I know you asked, when is it okay to date again? You will know, because you're going to feel like your cup is more full. Use nature. Write. I feel like you need to write. If you journal, if you get emotions out and you just let your soul breathe on a piece of paper, I don't care if anybody ever reads it again. It's vulnerable. It's your private business. Tear it up, burn it, rip it, whatever you want to do. But get it off your heart, off your chest. Your goal is going to be to self-care yourself back to your love lens, which is your heart space, your intuitive guidance system. This is your spiritual GPS. It's never going to lie to you. Right now, the betrayal has you in the fear lens. You're replaying old pain that's damaging, and it's made you feel like 2 cents. We know you're worth a gazillion bucks, girl. So you just have to retrain this brain, tell it to shut up from the past pain, decide to face it and go, you know what? I'm done carrying this load. I'm not bringing that garbage back into my house. It stinks. I'm going to come back here to my love lens. And then when I'm ready and I've filled my cup in that nature with my totems, I'm going to come back to myself and I'm going to say, you know what? Now I'm ready. Then you'll draw it in. You don't have to look for it. It's going to come to you. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
You're
All right.
welcome.
We've got Jay, Angel, and then Joy.
Hello, Faith. I want to say first, as I was sitting here, when you brought up your question, I love your energy. It feels familiar even to a point, I would say. But then I was starting to get some psychic hits, and the first things as phrases that I feel the need to tell you is, there is no need to be perfect. There is no need to have it all figured out. There is fun along the way where you are figuring things out. And I would say there are all of these concepts about readiness that you might have picked up from what you have heard, what you have seen. And also that's driving me to think about, you do not have to accept, even if you love someone, you do not have to accept all of their parts. We learn to love ourselves incomplete. In fact, we never get to be completed until we finish our own journey here. But I have some questions, and some of them are for you to reflect.
Oh, we lost your sound. You got muted.
I'm sorry.
We can
I don't
tell because
know
your
where-
dog goes away, so we know something happened. Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. So and these questions are, what have I felt? What have I seen? What have I heard? Can I let go? And then, am I comfortable enough right now with telling my own story? The one that I can feel that you are so ready to unpack to someone else. But first, are you ready to hear that story? The raw and unfinished version? I feel that there is some value in the answers that you would get. I feel that the need for to be grounded is something that either meditation in nature, I feel for some reason it comes the elements of water and the color blue. But there's a lot that's rooted in the root chakra, as Saidi and Asante was mentioning. So it's all about what have you picked up? Are you ready to let go? Are you comfortable enough with who you are, with the story, the way it is? Because it is the way it is. I would say there's potential, but it's in the future. So for now, I would say be present and be comfortable with who you are, because I do can feel that excitement. I do can feel all the love, but your soul somehow it's feeling, it has the need for reconnection with nature, and has that need to, okay, I need to again remind me of loving myself first. There's no need to feel guilty when you are taking care of yourself.
Great. Thanks so much, J. Angel. And we've got Joy next.
Thank you, Lorelei. Hi, Faith. So quickly, I in agreement and in keeping with what a lot of people have been saying. And I think these are things that you instinctively know yourself. And that is the focus right now should be on you. And I know that it's a painful thing, but if someone betrayed you, you know they are not the right person for you anyway. And it would just be even more painful to try to keep anything like that. So try to forgive yourself and let that go. And then in focusing on yourself, as Bonnie and Henry were saying, when you refill your cup, and that will naturally draw your better partner and better people for you to you. So take time and pamper yourself, which, you know, being in nature, if that's revitalizes you, do that as much as possible. And then I would also say, like Jose was saying, being in water, like in the ocean, or hot baths, or, you know, just anything that feels good, and it will bring you back into your body, and is generally very rejuvenating. So anything like that you can think of. And music, if music that you like, to play positive music as much as you can. Anything that feels good is good. That, you know, aside from things like drinking or anything like that. But I think you know what I mean. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful.
Great. Thanks so much, Joy. And we've got Marcy also. And Marcy, if you're wanting to do any singing, let's get your original sound on. Do you remember how to do that? So it's right by the mute. There's a little caret. Or no, it should be the top left of your screen now. The top left of your screen might say original sound, and you can
Original sound on. Yeah, I was thinking about it.
You want it on. So you want original sound on. Great.
All right, is that good?
Probably so, yeah. Go ahead. So share it. Go ahead. Share how
And I
you're
was thinking about doing a tone, but I didn't want to interrupt. I do more on an energy level as to when I've done readings on people, when I worked on Aranum, I tell people a lot of times when they're heartbroken, you put the gas and the brake at the same time. And a lot of times it's like part of you is hurt, so you put the brake on. And until you heal that part, then people get mixed messages as to come forward, but stop. And another thing that I wanted to say is 7% of communication is verbal. So there's energy, there's eye contact. So a lot of times we give mixed messages as to, yes, I want to go forward, but then we're closed down. And so a lot of times people are like, I'm not sure where you're coming from. So as you heal, and as I've worked on, we all have psychic cords that were connected with people still. My ex was, when I was like 19, was telepathically talking to me. Astral projection. So you might all of a sudden think of him, but it's him thinking of you. And so a lot of people think that they're going crazy. So it's like pulling cords. You could visualize the person face to face. and go from foot to head and head to foot and look at all these cords or wires and burn them. And then disconnect with that energy so his energy is not connected with you. I do more healing on that level, on that. I'm going to hit a tonal note for you around your throat because I feel like there's like closed down communication, if you want. I always ask, you know. So with that, because we're air, earth, wind, and fire, you got to breathe a little bit. I heard a scream. So you released a little bit of a pain. Do you feel a little bit lighter? Because we need to get the oxygen moving in our body. And that's where we get diseased. And so as we get more and more oxygen, our body will flow more and not be heavy vibe type of thing. Did you feel the tone? Do you feel lighter? You guys might have felt it too.
I feel like I can take a deeper breath.
Good. It's all with breathing,
Yeah.
So that's good. That's getting more oxygen in your body. So I always throw those out there, give a little bit of information so that people could okay, I'm putting the brakes on. I can feel my body close down. So just be aware of your body when somebody approaches you. Then that way they're able to flow and not restricted,
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks so much, Marcy. Thanks so much, everyone, for all your great answers. Thank you, Faith, so much for getting us started with our first question. Thanks for being willing to jump up on screen. All right, we've got Connie, Jenna, and Rebecca in line. Connie. All right, let's bring you up here on the screen. All right, Connie, what is your question? Oh, wait, you're muted. Let's get you unmuted. Okay.
Hello. All right, so I've been single, unmarried since I was 32. Raised 4 kids by myself. They're all wonderful adults. I've had boyfriends. They last about 3 to 5 years, and I do a lot of work in music and with autistic people, neurodiverse, and it's my life. It's what I do. I have a huge community of musician friends and others, and yet it's really hard for me to find somebody that I could live the rest of my years with. So I just came out of a relationship. I could see it changing, and I told him, and then he just kind of went to town and found somebody else. And that's okay. I'm good with that. I do miss what we had in the communication, but I've been doing a lot of my own work on myself. And I have been on dating sites. I actually found him on Silver Singles. And then I've done Match.com. It seems like I tend to fall for these guys, not fall, but these communications with ones that sound great at first, and they're absolute scammers, as it all unveils. So now I think I've got my smarts together on that. I hope. But also I just know that I'm not just a musician, I'm a total piano nerd, but I'm also in nature, and I'm an avid bike rider and so many things, but I'm also 67 and I think young. And it's just hard to convey that, or to know how to attract the kind of person that would be really good for me and that I'd be good for them. And that's the problem. I'm usually really good for the men I date. But when it comes back to it, I'm not happy. I've given so much. I'm a giver. I had great practice raising 4 kids by myself, and we're all really good friends. So it's just one of those things where, how do I reset? And I'm doing this work every day now for the last month or two, in so many ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, reading good things every day. And what do you see in me?
Great. Thanks so much for your question. We've got Stacy in line. So Stacy and then me, and then we'll put other people in line. And I know we've got a big panel, everyone. So let's do the best we can to stay 2.5 minutes if we can. Go ahead, Stacy.
Bonnie, what do you do for self-care?
What I do, well, I have an ankle injury, but I'm back to now riding my e-bike, which is my best friend. And
Okay.
I do rowing machine. I'm doing a lot of things. Back to weightlifting now that I can safely go back to the gym, because for me, that kind of stretch with weights is such a great discipline that really clears my head and organizes my brain. I go out with friends. My daughter's a professional singer. So we have the hookup for every live venue you'd ever want to do, from electronica to jazz to blues. And live music is a big thing. I compose music, so I sit down and I just play. I do a lot of intuitive music myself, and that's something that I do. And I laugh every day. I find something to laugh at.
Good. Because so for
think there's
me,
more
all I
things.
got from you was just self-care, self-care, self-care. Paint your nails, go do something that makes you feel really good about you. Yep.
Yeah.
And don't look. I feel like he's going to come to you. Just be you. Maybe online's not the right venue. But there's no such thing as too much self-care. So love on yourself, and that's going to radiate out and attract in whomever that is supposed to be for you. That was just so clear to me as you were talking. So that's what I got.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big radiator. That's just who I am. But I also, in my practice, I'm a piano teacher, but I work with about 45 to 50 students, and I'm in-house so much of the time that when I'm done, I'm just kind of worn out. So that's where the self-care comes in. And then to get out right now and do things with other people, we've got the COVID scare, we've got, just different things. So I'm trying to navigate that now, once again, as to where to go, the places that I can feel I can attract people that I resonate with. And I have to tell you that one thing that's been missing out of my life for the last few years has been to have a group of intuitive people like yourselves, because I get along great with them. I mean, that is what I am too, as an intuitive. And it comes so much with my autistic kids. I've got several prodigies I teach. And but I don't know enough adults, and I'd like to get hooked into that kind of community.
So
that's where I live.
I'm going to send you out to everybody else, but I just formed a private Facebook group because I keep attracting all these intuitives that are just popping out of the woodwork saying, I don't know what to do. So if you find me in the chat, you could look up that group. There's a lot of us out there.
Oh, yay. I need that so badly.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
So some of the other communities, so soulsearchcommunity.com is a new site that's growing. And that's a place where lots of practitioners are right now, and the rest of the community is coming in to join us. And then there's a new dating site that's up that is attracting a group in this around 60 and a group around 30. So it's new, it's growing. I don't know what part of the country you're in. It is
Seattle area.
Okay, great. It's citydatingapp.com. They are on the West Coast. So it's new. There aren't as many people there yet, but it looks like a great site, and they are using all kinds of methods to screen out. And actually I want to do a different link, Stephanie. So it's well, so in the I'll put it in the city dating app. So there's a pod in around Seattle, around Portland, and then California. So that site, they're using technology to screen out scammers. So I just met with the founder earlier today again, and there's all kinds of things behind the scenes that he's doing and technology he's building to screen out all the scammers. He's got lists of people he's pulling out every day. They're just all over the place. So that's something that's helping everyone. And then, so something that you can do is look, well, you said you're a biker. So the ways that you're outside and you're active, so do that with groups of people and find out who those people are. So to join whatever groups, to do it with other people. And then you want to look for yourself of what you're doing in the initial interactions with people that has the conversation not get deep and real enough so that you can screen them out quickly. right? So what are the things that are important to you, and how much do you talk about those quickly? And you're someone who's strong, you can lead and direct things. So you want to make sure that you're holding back enough and receptive enough with people so they have a chance to show up in a way that's strong and can meet you, right? So learning to hold that back so you can see if they're there. Oh yeah, I'll put the chat for the other app.
Well, I have to say, I just got back on.
And I want to
Symbols.
encourage you. I'm gonna
yeah.
stop sharing. We have limited time, so unfortunately you can't share as much.
Sure.
So we all have a chance to share. So let's see. So in
That's
order.
okay. That's okay.
And in order, we've got Audrey, Bonnie, J. Angel, Stephanie, Joy. All right. So we've got Audrey next. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So I got a few things for you. Now, the first thing that I see with the spirit coming in is a lady, but fiery red dress and fiery wings and everything. So she says that you are a very fiery person or that you have a lot of passion for life. When you go into it, it's like fire, right? And so of course you have a lot of friends, a lot of circles and different friends or male attraction and the things like that. There's no problem really for you to meet people, except that sometimes she showed me a few different ways of impression that you give to people, whether you are like a very caring, motherly type, or that you are just a caretaker type, or that you are just a true confidant, a good friend. I mean, there are just so many relationships that you could have with various people, but they may not be the exact, like, oh, you're talking about, soulmate or love relationship. And, so they are not exactly that, because they're a little bit like a misfire. Go to this side, that side, so a little bit off. However, there's no wrong love, right? We're just saying that the spirit tells me that you are keeping yourself, you are to keep yourself very free. And perhaps you will meet some people through work, environment, circumstances, through those kind of resources. And maybe that means you have the same common interest, or that you enjoy each other so much and they enjoy your talents. And so definitely that's what I see. I feel that the relationship will be very focused, very exclusive. However, the commitment, the commitment part is that we want to keep life very simple, seize the day. We're together today, but we don't have to be on paper, we're committed to each other for the next 30 years. So I think that there is a sense of relief when you say, yeah, I'm just very, very free spirited, and we're together today, we're together tomorrow, we're together every day, or whenever I come to your city. So I do feel that there is a little bit of a traveling. I'm getting some kind of a, driving, or, oh, I visit you. So I'm getting that, but I definitely feel that it's a lot of love, the true affectionate, internal, heartfelt love. So I definitely think that you can get that, but you may have to adjust your attitude just a little to say, I'm not here to take care of you, or I'll let you take care of me for a change, or some kind of a different, different angle. So that is what I get for you.
Thanks so much. Right, I'm
Thank
going to let
you.
I'm great. I'm going to let all of us know now at 2.5 minutes. So if you can finish up quickly after that, that'd be great. We've got Bonnie and then J. Angel.
Hi, Connie. Bonnie here.
Hi.
Hi. Getting a couple things for you. I'm getting the sense, because I can imagine, from the age, I believe you said 32. You've been single since about 32 or in your 30s.
Yes.
And now you're 67. So that's a long period of time, even though you've been in and out of various relationships, to be alone. It can be lonely. It can make you anxious to want to hurry and want to rush. I believe your energetic system is overwhelmed with a timeline. Even though you might not realize you're setting a timeline on yourself, our natural human mind, as we get older and we're by ourselves, we're like, well, I'm a great person. Can I hurry up? Like I'm 67 and I want to be enjoying my life and I want to have a partner. So our body clock kind of listens to that, right? Our energetic system kind of feels like in this hurried mode. And so you've said something about, falling for scammers. And I think that that's a natural side effect when our energetic system is so anxious to, oh, I really want this. So you're hopeful and you're hoping it's the right one. So there's nothing wrong with wanting it and going out there and trying to get yourself ready to get the right one for you. But until you give yourself the gift of compassion in not giving yourself a timeline and saying, you know what, I'm going to really work on this, on clearing the old loneliness, the old rushing timeline thing that I've attached myself to because I want it so bad. I'm going to let that go for a bit. I believe sound healing would be very beneficial to you. So have you experienced sound healing before?
I've read about it and I've used it on some of my autistic students, but not personally myself.
I believe it would work for you as well. And you think about how it helps those on the spectrum of autism, right? It reaches some really deep levels in the human field. And you are a music person. So you're already kind of an auditory type person. You really feel the vibration of music, which is why you love it and why you love piano. I would suggest sound healing will help you clear out some of that energetic field that's making you feel like you're rushing to hurry up and get someone, which is in turn creating the side effect of getting the wrong one. Okay. So that would be my immediate advice. And work on calming that mind because that's putting you in that kind of rabbit hole, right? Of the same patterns. We want to break that pattern with sound healing. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thanks so much, Bonnie. We've got Jay Angel next.
Hello, Connie.
Hello.
So I felt pulled to get some cards for you actually. And as you were talking, I pulled one of my cards of my Oracle decks and I made a question of, wait a second, I don't see anything alarming here. Why is Connie, or why does she feels that her relationships are failing or are not lasting long enough? And the first card that I got was the trust card.
Okay.
It's trust. And it spoke to me as for there has been some trust issues based off belief and not you or the other person, probably some misunderstandings. And that wasn't very clear to me. So I asked another question, like, wait a second, what could Connie do? And I got the Druid card, which to me is very related to trust. And it's all about, it says at the bottom, hold the space. It's hold on, don't do anything, allow things to be, allow people to be, allow people to surprise you. I feel that I love your energy. It's like really strong. And it's almost as if it would take so much to surprise you. So I would say, allow that to happen. Allow life to bring more joy to yourself. And then I got another card because I am just like that. I just hear the spirit and I just let myself be guided. And it's about self-care. This is the Four of Swords. Self-care. And to me, it sounds as if I would just suggest you leave the phone at home, go for a walk around the lake and sing with the birds. I feel that you are always in charge of everything, carrying your phone, worrying about what's going on there, wherever that is. But I feel that this is a moment for you to take care of yourself. And other people, they will just come. They are there. I feel that they are there.
Thank you. That resonates.
Yes, and by the way, I'm so sorry. I'm sensing a male figure just like patting your back and saying, "Hey, I got your back." So I'm not sure. It's like a strong male figure.
Yeah, go ahead and finish up if there's any last sentence.
Oh, that was all.
Okay, great. Thanks so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Joy next. Go ahead, Joy.
Thank you, Lorelai. Hi, Connie.
Hi.
A couple of questions for you. Where are you and where are you meeting these people?
I'm on Mercer Island, so Seattle area.
Okay.
And I'm not really meeting many people. I've been very careful. I'm like the only one in my family who's not gotten COVID, got all my vaccinations. And so I'm careful. Plus I deal with kids all the time. When I do go out, I go out to some live music events. I'm trying to find more ways to connect with other people as we come out of this. Seattle area is somewhat cautious. Most of us, some of us. So I'm trying to be careful, and I have a lot of women friends, and but not many of the male gender right now. So
have you tried Meetup?
That's where I found your group, was Meetup.
Yes, and actually if you aren't very familiar with it, there are a lot of, it's basically a shared interest site. So you can look up any of your interests and find local groups. And that's a really good way to meet people. I would say
I'm doing that.
Yes, the more, I think Lorelai is right, the more you express who you really are to the people that as you meet them, the better matches you will get. And the more you express things that are important to you. And also I would consider common denominators in the people that you've been meeting that you don't like, and try to identify them and watch out for them, as you meet new people. But also to be careful of your mindset, that you're not telling yourself, okay, now I'm only meeting people who aren't nice, and so it's a pattern. Don't think of it that way, because everyone's different. And I think everyone is right. You have a really wonderful, strong energy, and I think that will really serve you well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Joy. We've got Henry and then Marcy.
Hi, Connie. So I'm gonna try and keep it really short, because I tend to get lost in the joy of this. I pulled 3 cards for you. I didn't think I was going to pull cards tonight. I'm going to share them briefly so you can look at them. Okay, let's see if that's possible.
Yeah, I just made you a co-host.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Let me know when they show up on your screen.
Oh, they do. I see them.
Okay, great. So the first card was laughter. Then the second card was protection. And the third card was divine mystery. And so this is really all 3 the family of the rose, which is about the joy of life, the family of the tree, which is about grounding, and then the family of stars, which is about expanding yourself. So I'm going to stop sharing.
And everyone needs to know that Henry made these cards.
Yes, that's my
Beautiful.
deck. I'm waiting for them to come back from the printer. We'll see what happens there. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the notes that I made as I was listening, so that it's quicker than me trying to generate it. Okay, so I get that you're self-aware, that you're spiritually aware, that you're a giver, that you call yourself a radiator, an intuitive, and so here's my hit. Take it light. Laugh about men in general, like the laughter that you saw in the card, which is just joyful laughter, because I think you have some things about men. Who doesn't? Men have things about men. So laughing, I think, will help with the seriousness that maybe you have with regard to men. take on, they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you to be great. They don't owe you to be the right kind of partner. They don't owe you awareness or enlightenment. They just don't owe you anything. Next, even more important, you are enough. So don't give anything except being your authentic self. Don't look for ways to be helpful. Don't look for ways to be of service to them. They don't need that. They're not looking for that. They're looking for a person. Develop good grounding practices. You saw that protection, that golden egg. Develop a good grounding practice so you can stay grounded when you want to start helping and jumping in and seeing how you can be of service to that person. And lastly, believe in the magic of you, that you're in a magical field and the partner is also in a magical field. And when you just open to being with, rather than being of service to or helping, just being with, that may free up the connection.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Thanks so much, Henry. We've got Marcy next.
Hi.
Marcy.
I got Buddha behind me. He wants me to do a dome because I channel the masters. And as we raise our frequency, we get higher and higher. I feel like your first and your second are blocked as far as, so I do low Aztec sounds and I do really high Cosmo. I'm going to hit a note, but there's 2 books I read that helped me with men. It's a communication between men and women and why men love bitches. And when we give love to men, it's not in their brain. So when we show respect, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, they understand that more. When I've done readings on people, they're like, I give love and love and love. It's not in their concept. They actually lose respect. Anyway, I'm going to hit the low note, but I wanted to bring those out because as I figured out why these men, you also do have a high frequency. A lot of times men can't connect the same thing with me. It's just a different dial, Anyway. What that did is we have carbon energy. And the carbon is fear, shame, guilt, like coal. And then we go into diamond. So what happened is you had some really stuck energy in your first and second chakra. It could have been your childhood. It could have been a buildup. We have layers upon layers. And so a lot of times we're like cars stuck in the mud. So this is getting you out of that car being stuck in the mud. I don't know if you're feeling lighter, but it's getting your body to release that heavy energy that people pick up on a certain level. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. Yeah.
The tones, do you feel a little bit lighter?
I feel a little lighter and a little, a little less blocked. I did lose my voice about 3 years ago in a car accident. So I'm a singer, but I can only sing to G above middle C now.
Yeah, I work
so,
on it. I
don't know if you're getting that, but
I also have a YouTube channel which has my tones.
Okay.
Under
that might help with this too.
A lot of people get addicted because it hits the serotonin part of the brain, and it relaxes. And so I had a friend that was the guy that helped me write my book was an opera singer. Unfortunately, he flip switched on me, and I had to drop his friendship. But very intelligent. I work with musicians. I can know where the energy is blocked. And it's all with that flow of energy and oxygen and releasing those blocks. Your energy, like 6 inches, which is your mental level on your left side, it's popping. So that energy is now moving.
Marcy, if you finish up, please.
I'm done.
Great. And if you want to get the link to your YouTube channel, feel free to get that. We'll put that in the chat, and I'll put that in what I share about you too.
Oh, great. Okay. And
great.
My book,
yes, I want that. Thank you.
Great. Practitioners, anything else to share with Connie? Great. Thanks so much for all of the answers. Connie, thanks so much for jumping
Thank
in
you.
and letting us answer.
Thank you so much.
Right, we've got Jenna next. Hi, Jenna. What is your question? Let's get you unmuted.
Hi. Oh, it's great to be here. Henry, I've met you in person. You're beautiful. I love you. You have such a lovely heart and poised with words. And I met you, Lorelei, as well. And you are a beautiful soul yourself. And I love you both. So I'm excited to ask my question, but I just wanted to say real quickly, I'm a Sagittarius. It's Sun and a Sagittarius, and I wrote it down to make sure I get it right. And my Mercury and Venus, and I'm Gemini rising. And I think the Gemini will really play into what my question is, because I have this way of loving. I love people. I have 3 kids. I love my kids. I love so deeply that sometimes it's a problem. So I have to uninvest myself. And I'm learning that this last year. I've really learned to uninvest myself, to pull back, to not be attached as much. I've done a lot of personal work, inner work, and I do a lot of meditation. I play with tarot cards. I'm not sure that I understand all of it, but and I really feel in touch with my guides and my ancestors. And it's a beautiful place to be in my life right now. I'm really happy. With that being said, I'm not dating anyone, so we might need to throw that into the part of the question. But I have this way of showing up and giving my all and being really invested and being for something so passionately. And then next thing I know, somebody thinks the worst of me. It just happened in my job. And I tend to, if I get really frustrated with something, I tend to kind of pull back and shut down and just get quiet. So then I don't respond to an email. And then I just got sick, and I just had a situation at my side job. And when I went to answered the email that I needed to, and I was really angry and frustrated, and I didn't want to take it out on my employer. I came back into email and I started talking. It's like he didn't like me anymore. He loved me 2 weeks ago, and now he's kind of done with me. And there's it's like a vortex of toxicity. And I don't understand that. My son is 19 and he won't talk to me. He hasn't talked to me for 6 months, and I devourly love him. And I still love him, even if he's not talking to me, but it hurts. Yeah, I cry because he won't call me back. He won't text me. He didn't call me for Mother's Day or Christmas or New Year's or his birthday when I reach out to him and he doesn't respond. So I have this thing that's happening, and this it is a vortex, and I just want to understand it. Why are these things happening to me that I love, and that maybe I'm communicating something. I'll be responsible for whatever I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing. So if somebody could maybe speak into that space of what it is, that weirdness that just happens, it just keeps happening. It happens, and it's happening dating too. I won't date it. I'm trying to date, but I'm not trying to date. And anyway, so, all right, I already see hands, so I'll just stop talking.
We've got some answers. I don't remember our conversation from when we met long ago.
Yeah. Oh, good. Wow. Thanks.
Did you have someone in your family of origin that was narcissistic, or that never owned their part, never owned their responsibility? Yeah. So I encourage you to look into what it is to be a child of narcissists and the journey of healing from that. And that's the pattern that's playing out, I believe.
Okay.
That's gonna, and then finding resources to work on that. We're gonna have a panel on that later in the summer. There are practitioners that specialize in that.
Amazing. Yeah.
So lots of us. Yeah. So this is the thing, and finding all the resources for that. And I will leap off to let other people share. So Stephanie, and then Henry, Bonnie, and Audrey. So go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
The first thing that I got was, we are ascending, and when we ascend, we are no longer a vibrational match to some things. And so vibrationally, the people that leave, it's okay. And so like with your son, I get that because it's your son, right? You don't want to break that connection. But maybe letting him go will allow him to come back. So like releasing it a little bit, letting it just soften. I felt that. I know that it stings, right? It's, oh God. But vibrational matches. So if like there's a vibrational issue with your employer, then maybe it's time to update your resume and look for something else that maybe will be a vibrational match. And same with dating. It's almost like as I've gotten into this ascension place, the people that I'm not a vibrational match with anymore, it's like I just completely lose interest. And I might have found some kind of attraction, but all of a sudden it's just poof. Like, I don't even know what happened, but okay, I guess we're not a thing anymore. That's okay. And yeah, I think that's probably enough since you are so strong in your intuition. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Thank you so much. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. We've got Henry next, and then Bonnie, Audrey, Sadie, and Asante.
Okay, so I am, let me start my clock here. Start the clock. No, okay. Save that clock and start the clock. Okay, so your story is so similar to mine that there is some possibility that I'm going to be projecting. And so I just want to, in the interest of transparency, want to mention it. So I only get one hit though. If you're like me, you're a little bit heartbroken. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were me, you would have been bawling.
Yeah.
Like I admire how you keep it together because I would be a hot mess, just whoa. Right? So the sense that I got, I tried to pull a card, but it was just the divine guidance was this is not for cards. You already know what the answer is. So the thing is like the work for you to do is to heal your heartbreak. Because you're waiting for the world to heal it, for some, like for your son to heal it, for some other people to stop breaking your heart. And they're not going to be able to stop. Now, you don't need to know why, because there is no satisfactory answer that is going to solve it for you. It's going to maybe be an interesting intellectual exercise, but what there is to do is look at how do I heal my broken heart? And the best way that you can heal your broken heart is by going out into nature and begin relationships. Like if you have some trees close by or some rose bushes or some daisies or whatever you have close by, begin relationships with them, because right now your world is almost 100% anthropocentric, so human-centered. And what you're longing for, the human world at this point can't give to you because of how you're calibrated and how the materialistic world is calibrated. But the more than human world can totally give this to you. And this is what will help you heal your heart.
Thank you so much, Henry. I resonate with that. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Henry. We've got Bonnie next.
Hi, Jenna. Bonnie here. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm tapping into now, I do also feel the narcissistic family member in your life. I believe that has created some deep anger issues that are coming up. The resentment, that's a really heavy load for you to be carrying. Yeah. So your continued spiritual work is going to help with that. I do also agree with Stephanie wholeheartedly. That was the first hit that I got was, as we ascend, as we elevate, as you've been practicing your mental, spiritual, physical, emotional cleansing, trying to keep it real with yourself, do your thing, try to heal the pain of the past, try to move forward, trying to lift yourself. It does create a different vibrational match for those in your life. Now, I can relate to you. This is about you, not me, but I can tell you so that you don't feel alone. I'm going through a similar pattern with my son, and I understand the pain that that causes when the child that you adore more than anything in your life is no longer accepting you where you're at and is going, right? That's a hard position to be in, extremely hard. Hard is not the word. But it is a natural trajectory when you are on your own spiritual path and he is on his own spiritual path and he hasn't done the work you have done. So he doesn't understand the vibration level that you're at because you're ascending upwards as you heal the pain or erase the layers of pain that you've accumulated from the narcissism, from the anger, from resentment, from your life of feeling like you're doing the right thing and the world just kind of taking a crap on you, right? But I agree with Stephanie. If the boss situation is kind of not ironing out and matching up anymore, it may be the universe saying, you know what, girl, you're working hard to ascend yourself. Maybe you need to find a better vibrational match now. What a lot of people did during COVID. They got out of COVID, they realized, hey, I need to take care of my mental health. So they're quitting jobs, they're doing different things. This is a time of transformation on this planet. So you are going to see a lot of relationships change. I'm not saying that that's not easy. It's really hard, but it shows that you're doing the work to improve yourself. You can only control or fix yourself and your path. You cannot do the same for your son as much as we love them and we want to. He has to own his own path. I do believe, like Stephanie, he will find his way back to you when he figures out what in his self is kind of scared of seeing you elevate when he's not elevating. People see you going up and they're like, oh, well, what's wrong with me? How come I'm not going up too? They got to do the work. They might not be ready or willing yet, right? So give yourself some compassion to know that it's going to be okay. I think tapping would be very good for you. Have you ever tried tapping for the anger?
I love tapping.
Okay.
Well, EMDR. I haven't actually tried tapping for myself, but I love EMDR.
Okay. Well, continue what you're doing. But I would say if you want to try something new, EFT and tapping is really good, especially with narcissism, to kind of release some of that deep-seated anger that's going to keep your vibration level a little bit down until you release a little bit more. And it will make it easier when you're watching these people kind of drop away from you temporarily. You go, you know what? Their path, my path. I'm fixing myself. So they're along for my journey, or they're going to be to the side for a little bit. And that's okay. Give yourself that love. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Bonnie. We've got Audrey next.
Hello.
Hi, Audrey.
Hi. So today, as the spirit comes through while you're talking, your spirit is very soft, kind of like a soft bamboo. Okay, so she gave me a card, and this is the card that I got. It says that it's the wisdom of the heart chakra. And so, you know, sometimes when we want to gain wisdom, I'll give you an example, like, you know, trying to be a good pianist. If you only practice like a 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 months, a year, then you're probably not going to be the best, not yet anyway. The good comes from practicing so many times. And I know that it's probably hard to hear, but we go through these heart chakra, up, down, you know, vibration up and down, happiness, and then some let down, or okay, we understand you, but we're mistaken, you know. So there is a lot of that, you know, going forward, coming back, you know, going forward, going backward. So that is the name of the game. To gain the heart wisdom, you still have to go through, some of the practices, so to speak. Now, since you spoke astrology, so I'm going to use a few terms. You said that you're Sagittarius, and then so you are kind of located near the galactic center. So that means your world, your purview is so vast, really wide. And so these are just a few people that come in and out of your life, but they don't represent everybody or anything and everything. Okay, so what that means is that these are just a few simple experiences that you have out of all the people that you will experience. So, the message about that is that you have already done the Scorpio. The Scorpio was to give it to me, give it to me hard, or before it's like, oh, don't just poke me, but give it to me hard, and that's how I will learn things. And then so that's what you have already gone through over a very long period of time. But now, anyway, some of the people in your life, they do use a communication to wedge in or to leverage some of these emotional up and downs, or the relationship up and down with you. But I would say that you want to stay true to yourself, continue to stay true to yourself, knowing what you want to express to people. Or when I say, oh, I care about you, or are you coming home for dinner? Then you are expressing yourself. Just stick to yourself and don't worry about, oh, you said you were coming home for dinner, but you're not here. So, don't let those so-called the trickery bother you or let you down. So anyway, that is my message for you today. I hope it helps.
Thank you. The narcissist in my life is Scorpio. My youngest kid is Scorpio, and she does that to me. Transgender. He does that to me all the time. Of telling me, I'm like, will you come to dinner? Will you have dinner? And then it's like, I don't know. We'll see. I don't care. I don't really. And I was like, so I stopped making dinner all the time for us. And then they, and it was just like really sad, I'm like, does anybody want to spend time with me? I just want to love you.
Very quick messages to kind of let them go, or give that distance, give that space. So that way you lower your expectation and they are free to be who they are, just like how you are. Somebody mentioned that you are this free spirit, and then so they can be free spirit around you. So everybody can be free spirit. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Audrey.
That really resonates. So thank you for the Scorpio energy is all over my life.
Thank you.
I feel like they're like right there all the time. I'm like, okay, I got Scorpio energy. I'm good. Now I'm like, I know how to handle this.
I'll just say too, it's come up several times on the panel. So sometimes we might say things about men or about women, including non-binary people or not. And we might say things about particular signs, and it's not everyone that is those categories. It's just a generalization for understanding. All right, Sadie and Asante are next, and then Joy.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Hi. When listening to what you were having to say, a couple of things jumped out to me. You mentioned the Gemini energy, speaking of astrological signs. You mentioned that you have a bit of that in yourself. And you also mentioned that these people around you are really there for you, and then they're just not. So like that duality right there. And that is, it sounds like an energy that you have within yourself. And we tend to, the people outside of us kind of tend to reflect back to us what, ourselves. So I'm just wondering, like, where in yourself you are expressing those same energies to these people that they're reflecting back to you, So,
yes.
So, and then if you do have, that much of the duality, that energy, the Gemini energy, which is really, it's very dualistic, learning a way or spending some time on looking at those different aspects of yourself, how you can be on one extreme or the other, and learning how to balance those or bring those together somehow to integrate them more. I don't know exactly what those are for you, because we each have that, it's our own individual experience, but it does sound like there's some, two sides of a coin here. And how can you bring those energies together and integrate them more so they maybe reflect out to others in a more balanced way? If that resonates at all.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I can see the duality. Definitely. That's a good observation. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Sadie. Joy is next.
Thank you, Lorelei. Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Well, a few things that came up. One is the narcissism. As I'm sure you probably know, that's one of the most destructive relationship types that you can have in your life. So it's important when you're dealing with the aftermath of that you pay close attention to your own mindset and make sure that you remember that it's not you. And whenever people in your life are, not quite connecting or not quite, meeting your expectations, it's always a good idea to return to yourself. Put the focus back on yourself. And that means self-love and self-care and things that feel good to you. And you always have to remember that it's not you. Your son, relationships typically ebb and flow no matter what they are and how close you are. So he will always be your son. And I'm sure that it's only a matter of time before you're communicating again. So you have to kind of have patience sometimes and let things play themselves out. And that being said, you also want to, communicate as much as you can how much you really care about him. The other thing is, I drew a couple of cards, which are very salient to self and relationships. And the first one is self, gathering your power. So again, focusing on yourself and treating yourself, anything that feels good is good. And the difference between something that's good and self-destructive. The other one is independence, which is you are only bound by the limitations of your own mind. So, throw away the map, the template, and other people's opinions because they don't matter. You do not require the validation of others. So try this. Every time you feel like let down by someone or hurt by someone, think immediately of something that you can do that will feel good to yourself. Do that, continuously for going forward and see if that helps.
2.5.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Great,
you.
thanks.
And I just wanted to make it really clear. I have two sons. I have a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old. One lives with me and one doesn't. The 19-year-old who does not live with me is the one who's not talking to me. My 16-year-old does talk to me.
That's good.
We talk all the time and we're great. Ebb and flow, of course. But anyway, that relationship's great. It's my 19-year-old that moved away to college now doesn't remember to call me.
That's also a difficult time for them.
Yeah.
You might remember teenage years, and especially if he just moved out, that's probably what that is. And I'm sure it will resolve itself before you know.
I hope so. I miss him. So.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Joy. And Bonnie, you got something else brief you want to share? Go ahead.
Yes, I'll be really brief, Jenna. But one thing I forgot to mention, there was a phrase that you used, and you always want to be careful with the language that you use. None of us speak perfectly. None of us are perfect communicators. But one phrase that I wrote down when you were originally speaking was you are learning to uninvest yourself or myself. Be careful with that language, because the way my spirit interpreted that is you're taking energy away from caring for yourself. Even though you're going through the emotional, physical, spiritual healing where you're ascending yourself, I think it comes back to that duality that someone was speaking about. You're putting out that energy, but then your verbal language is saying, I'm uninvesting in myself rather than I'm investing in myself. You see the difference in the language? For some reason, it came out as uninvesting in myself. Do you remember saying that, or did I write that?
I was actually saying, and maybe I did say something that threw my wording off, subconsciously or something. But what I was intending to say was, I'm learning to uninvest myself in the other person. Like that I don't care more than they care.
Okay.
That like when the person doesn't care if they're taking care of themselves, but I really care. And I'm like, hey, let's do and take some more baths here, let's talk about that. So when I'm caring more about them than they're caring about themselves, that isn't working for me. It doesn't work to show up in someone's life and love so much that it's almost like it's overwhelming to them.
We want to encourage you too, that if you're loving someone else more than you're loving yourself, that's also a problem.
Yes, that's the uninvest term. That's what kind of threw me.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I'll definitely take what you're saying and consider how I'm wording things, because maybe there's other ways to reframe that so that it stays empowered.
Yeah, just think about using it as boundaries. To me, what you're describing is you're putting up your boundaries. You're saying, nope, that's your path. This is my path. I'm not going to continue to invest my energy into helping change your mindset, because you have a mindset. It's your path. Here's my mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of myself.
That's good.
So instead of saying uninvest yourself, invest in yourself by raising the boundaries. You're doing great. I just wanted to make sure you weren't taking away your self-care. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bonnie. I know Henry's got something else brief too, and then we got to move on to our next question.
I'm keeping it really brief. Just one question. Is it possible that your divine awareness takes love beyond the planetary scope? Just a question to ask yourself. Is my divine awareness taking my love beyond the planetary scope?
What happens if it is? I don't know.
First answer that question, and as you engage with that question, the answer is in that question.
Okay.
Or maybe I can give you a hint, which is the planetary scope is the scope it is for a really good reason. There is this duality of divine meta-reality in which this physical world is embedded. And this physical world is supposed to be this physical world, and the divine meta-reality is supposed to be divine meta-reality. And both must be honored. And if you're just going into this divine space and loving from that place, there's like some non-engagement with the scope of this world. Because there's something, look at Dogma 95. Dogma 95, there's a lesson in that. Just check that out. Dogma 95 has to do with movie making.
And Henry might find a link for that and put that in the chat after.
Okay, thank you, Henry.
That's it.
Right. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Jenna, so much for.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. And it looks like we've got Becca. Is that right? Is Rebecca? Becca? Okay, great. So, hi, Becca. Thanks so much for letting us support you in the panel.
Hi, thank you. So my question has morphed through listening to some of the other answers and conversation. I am in a relationship. It's a relationship that is almost 3 decades in the making. We met in massage school. He was married at the time, and so we kept it at friends, and he and his wife actually helped me bring my daughter into the world. Things happened, transpired. We lost touch for about 7 years, but through the decades, I've been in and out of relationships and varying types of relationships. I'm having a hard time taking this relationship from where it's at now and not trying to say, oh, we've known each other forever, because we're both different now. We've evolved, we've changed. We're also still both healing still. I guess my question now is, how do because I truly, when we met in massage school and the connection that we have had, even through our absence from each other, I really feel a twin flame connection to him, or what I believe twin flame to be. How do I calm myself down and not get ahead of myself in feeling that we've endured this, we've come back to each other for a purpose, and that we're finally going to have our way? How can I just let the relationship really blossom and grow and become either wonderful, or if it's not going to be wonderful, become what it's going to be, and have our closure, if that's what we're meant to get from this rejoining each other in this time? I guess I'm afraid of putting my own energies in and destroying what could be, or not allowing something great to happen, I guess. What kind of feelings do you guys get, or what advice can I get to have it really be true this time in what it's going to be? I feel like we kind of lost each other, and it didn't get to have the relationship didn't get to be what it was meant to be at the time. And now I feel like we're having a second chance at it, and it either needs to be something great and wonderful, or be where we realize that it's just a friendship and we are just here to support each other as that.
And how long has this second chance been? What is the time period here?
We've been back in each other's lives for about a year now. We started just as friends to see if we could communicate with each other still. In September, we started dating. About January, we said we would be exclusive and not see other people. So it's still pretty fresh.
Okay, great.
In my opinion.
And you know about the difference between twin souls and soulmates, the way people typically talk about them?
Actually, that's another clarification. Probably I have read some information about it, but I don't know that I really grasp the whole difference between the two.
And I would just say it super simply, and people may have other definitions. To me, soulmates are people that have similar souls. They're people that can have a really deep, close connection, and it can be very good. And twin souls are often talked about as there's some past life connection too, and there's this intensity in the connection, and there are things that get in the way and keep them from being together. And it can be a very interesting and growthful, but kind of torturous relationship at the same time. So yeah, so it's interesting you called it twin soul. All right, we've got Audrey ready to answer. Go ahead, Audrey.
Okay, thank you. It's funny how you mentioned the word soulmate. So this is the card I drew. This is soulmate. Okay, so the spirit guide came through, a lady spirit, and she says that what you have with this man is a soulmate relationship. It is one of those that may go through a lot. It's like you're a little boat on the ocean. It may go through up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, so it is just a fact of life. I mean, just what we have to go through. A boat on the ocean, up and down, no big deal, right? But in the Earth lifetime, we think, oh wow, so scary, or oh, what's going on, or oh, all these tests and trials, and are we not meant to be? Each time may be a test of faith. But the spirit guide further says that okay, it's in the communication that we have with each other. There will be many phases that you go through, but the lesson, really, the bottom line is that we want to commit into it. So once you commit into it and say, yes, we're going to work this out, we're going to work at it, then it will be it. Then that's it. Instead of just still halfway in or 1 foot in, this time you're going to try to work at it harder. And I'm not the one to, of course, tell you what to decide. Of course, that's not my intention here. But it's just that the spirit guide says that there is this intention, like in the back of your mind, in the subconscious mind, you still think that, yeah, I can move anyway. I can go away. I can escape anytime I want to. But 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 to be the soulmate, to finally do it one time, is that you want to do it, just do it. Like the commercial, just do it.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Audrey. We've got Stephanie and then Jay Angel.
Hi, Becca.
Hello.
So I wrote conflicted. And so like that's what I heard in your words. So you're not sure and there's something weird. And so like my intuitive energy is like, is there something you're not sure about with your partner? Or is it with you?
I think a little of both. He's my big thing for both of us is my relationships in the past have been more situationships where I spend a lot of time with somebody expecting them to be the person they say they are, and then 5-10 years down the road it's like they disappear out of my life. And it's not like anything's happened, we haven't had an argument or a breakup, it's just they disappear. And because when his marriage broke up, the person I'm with now, when his marriage broke up, he disappeared for 7 years, basically. I would every year reach out on his birthday, say, hey, I'm here if you want to talk, let me know. I lost somebody close to me and I reached out to him again, and he chose that time to turn around and talk back to me at this time and get back in my life. And I don't want to say that spending time with him is wasting time, because it's not. I feel so full right now being with him, and it's amazing to have him back in my life. It's bringing me back to a place where I was who I was a lot, and bringing me into a lot of things that I remember my life from massage school being. So it's fulfilling for me to be with him, but I also know that he is changing and finding out who he really is at this point in his life. Mm-hmm. And we're both, he'll be 60. I'll be 54 tomorrow. So it's like, it's not like we're young chicks anymore, So it's like, I feel an urgency maybe to have a fulfilling relationship at least once in my life. And because of where we were and how connected we were before, I feel like this could be it, but I'm afraid.
Okay. I think you need to get out of your head.
I've heard that before.
And so the best way that I can get you out of your head is a breathing practice that focuses energy onto your heart space.
Okay.
So it's just as you breathe, when you breathe in energy from the earth. When you breathe out, you breathe energy into your heart space. So it feels weird because it's like, wait, you're breathing out, but you do. It's like you visualize the breath to go into the heart and filling it up. Because what that will do, it will get you more cohesive, more in connection from your head to your heart. You'll be able to see more clearly.
Okay.
And that'll allow your own intuition, your own knowing to really show up, because I know you have it.
Trusting it.
I think and trust is hard, especially if you've been abandoned, feeling like you're not sure about this person because they've left before. Maybe it's about healing with him.
Yeah.
Sitting with that past and talking about it and just getting it out in the open. What your fears are, what you'd like to create in the relationship, and just be open.
Okay.
And trust what comes of that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. We've got Jay Angel, Bonnie, Sadie, and Asante Boy. So Jay Angel's next.
Hello, Becca.
Hello.
As you were talking in the beginning, I was sensing a lot of fear, like a lot of fear. But really, I just wanted to scream back at you and say, wait a second, this is not matching with the story that I am seeing here. Like, I feel that I am witnessing a love story for real. And then I pulled a card and it came the Fire Guardian, Ignite Your Passions. And I was feeling an underactive sacral chakra as well. So somehow I feel that the message here is, like Stephanie was saying, get out of your head and get wild. Like, get sassy, wild, silly, because this person, I don't want to say this person is or not the one, but I want to say that indeed this person knows where to touch you so that to get your authenticity out there. Like, you truly feel yourself when you are around this person. And I think you need to be reminded of that. And I will say again, the sacral chakra might be key here. And if you don't know, I could look online some references on how to bring more energy to your sacral chakra. That will include self-care, erotism, and all these things that has to do with feelings, emotions, sexual life, and I feel that will brighten it up, and that will bring the confirmation that you might be needing. But really, I would say I understand your fear. I am, for some way, I've been wanting to say I'm sorry, but really, I would say just take it and move on. Like, I feel that you can do it. I love your energy, very strong. So
thank you.
Yeah, keep me posted.
Thanks so much, Jay Angel. Bonnie is next.
Hi, Becca. Bonnie
Hi,
here.
Bonnie.
I'm sending you love and light always.
Yeah.
I did want to address what I'm feeling is some of what the folks here have already mentioned, fear, anxiety, some sadness. I do feel some self-worth issues as well. And like Jay Angel just touched on, I very strongly believe that authenticity needs to be revisited within you. Sometimes when we're in these relationships and we get fearful because we've lost something in the past and then it feels really good to get it back, and we just want to hold on to them so hard. So we're like, okay, so if I'm going to love this feeling of being with this person, I got to just stay in this lane. I got to like stay right here in the safe zone, right? And just do this, be this version of me. Well, it's good because it allows you to keep in that happy state with them. But down deep, that authentic you is screaming to get out and has been kind of pushed into the back burner a little bit. And I think if you do some self-discovery exercises with your authenticity, reminding yourself of who you are, not the avatar we put up with fear and worry and anxiety, but the real Becca within, with love and passion and gifts, extraordinary gifts. To tap back into that part of you is going to answer a lot of things. Once you rediscover more layers of you and can feel safe to operate in that lane alongside your partner, in that lane as yourself, and you are still loved in that lane and he's right there with you, you will have the answer that you seek. He's staying powered. This is meant to be for long term. Or, hey, age and a stage, time and a place. I'm vibrating at this level. I've changed. He has changed. He's ascending at a different level than me. We're healing alongside paths, but maybe not the same path. You'll know. But I think the biggest key for you today, I mean, obviously fear, anxiety, all of that is important to address. Continue to address that. But I believe if you dive deep into your authenticity and you really uncover those layers and start rocking your genuine vibe, that's my favorite phrase. That means be your damn self, no matter what. you are going to start feeling your power again. And you're going to know the answers because you're going to hear that love lens or your heart, your intuition speaking to you loudly. And you won't question it anymore. You'll know what's going forward with you and what's going backwards. The other phrase I got is blending the new with the old to create something more beautiful. So whatever that's going to mean for you. Now that may mean tapping into your authenticity. That may mean something about the way your relationship used to be versus how it is now, and how to kind of morph that and marry it into something more beautiful. Whatever that means for you, the phrase was supposed to be spoken. So I hope that helps. You have any questions about that, or are you okay?
I think I'm good with that. Yeah, I think I thank you.
Dive in.
Yes.
You're beautiful. Go see
Thank
more
you.
layers of yourself. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie. We've got Sadie and Asante, and then Joy.
Hi there, Becca.
Hi.
Hi. When we were listening to you share about your experience, we were both like, oh, you're way
in the
stuck in the
future.
future and in the
Past.
past. You're really, worrying about where things are going. You're wanting answers. You're wanting this, solid. You want it all figured out
And
before you commit.
it sounds like you have it all right here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just feel like, and then when you started talking about a little bit later, this wasn't in the beginning when you were sharing about, your question, later when you were talking about your experience with this person, it was so warm and loving and beautiful, and you were empowered and remembering yourself, and, so just stay in that moment, in the present. I mean, of course, we are always, past, present, and future, but I think you're too far in either direction versus here, trying to bring it into the actual lived experience and know that that truly is all that we ever have, I mean, of course, we make choices to, move towards the future that aligns with us and resonates with us, and our past, dictates, our present in a way, but, being too far in either of those is just it's not helping you. So it sounds like a really beautiful thing that could be nourished. And I love what Bonnie was talking about, authenticity and authentic yourself and just being yourself and really watching for codependent tendencies.
Definitely.
We
watch
speak
for the
from experience
codependent
on that
tendencies
one.
and definitely release the fear, like Jay was saying, and be present, because everything you're wanting in the future you have right now, and so just nourish what you have now, and if it's meant to be, it will carry forward into the future.
And have those conversations,
and
that
definitely
ongoing
have those
communication about
conversations.
what you want, and make sure that you are both wanting the same things and heading in the
That's
same
very,
direction.
very important.
Because if you're not, then just know that right now. But
Right.
So that's key. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
Great. And go ahead, Joy.
Thank you, Lorelai. Hi, Becca.
Hi.
Okay, a few things. Listening to you, it sounds like you want this. That you want this in your heart of hearts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's
Oh no.
what it sounds like. And I know because I've met my twin flame, and it's something so moving that people who haven't met theirs, it's really difficult to conceptualize. And I know that in a connection that strong, it's difficult to feel that and then feel like you might lose it. But that is the crux of what you have to think about. One of the most things I think that with twin flames, one of the things you can best do to help it work out is communicate. You have to, because the twin flame connection is kind of ethereal, and communication is very much in the now and the real. So the more you are on the same page, the better it's going to work. So if you and the thing is, you said you're afraid, and that's understandable, but you really want to try to let that go and let yourself fully experience this, because it's something, you know, unparalleled, and it's just an amazing thing. I drew a card for you, and it was protection, finding what is important to you, which means I think that you should be focusing on protecting yourself, in that you want to be in a space where you can really appreciate it if it happens, but you won't be broken if it doesn't. And one of the most important things about this is to find out what is important to you. That's another aspect of this, and not only about in terms of the relationship, but also for yourself, what things are important to you, and talk about this with him, and talk about what's important to him. Try to see who you are and who he is, and what direction you both are going. Whether you're on the same page and you want the same things, communication is going to be key. So I hope that helps.
Thank you. It does. Thank you.
I apologize for interjecting, but Becca, I forgot to wish you an early happy birthday. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday.
Thank you so much.
Great. And I agree with everyone. Your energy feels so good as you're talking about it more deeply. So much like fear came through in the beginning, and it sounds like it's a really supportive connection. So it sounds like, yeah, trust what this journey is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else have
all of you,
Becca, before we? All right, great. Thanks. We're going to have a few practitioners check out and share again who they are and what they do and how you can get in touch with them. And then we have a few more of us that will stay and answer a question from Jacqueline. All right, so I know Stacy, go ahead if you want.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Stacy Franco. You can find me at coastalcalmedium.com or on Instagram. I am an intuitive medium, energetic healer for pets and their people, or people and their pets. I work with all different modalities and love to just help people get to their most awesome, authentic self. I do have a special going on, 50% off everything on my website and a free 15-minute discovery call. So I look forward to seeing you guys there.
Great, and Stacy's going to help me run the practice circle tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to practice your skills with peers, come join us. And then it's coastalcalmedium.com. Thanks so much, Stacy, for being here. Anyone else have to go? It's your time to. Practitioners, anyone else have to leave? Are we all here for the next question? All right, great. Maybe we're all here for the next question. All right, Jacqueline, come on up. Where are you? Where are you, Jacqueline? Take myself off.
Hi, is this me?
Oh, great. If you want to turn on your video, I'll bring you up on Spotlight. It's up to you if you want to do that.
I confess that I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff. I don't think I.
Oh, it's okay. Here,
I'll
ask you to start video.
Oh, look at that. Gosh. Okay. You'll have to forgive me because I'm at home and I wasn't expecting to be seen. The host has asked you to start. Okay. All right. Apologies.
Great. Don't worry about it. It's great. What is your question?
I was just wondering, I'm very intense and I'm trying to, if possible, be a little bit more normal. I think that's a doomed to failure attempt. But for me, I think love is the most important thing in life. And I'm very blessed. I've got some animals. My father was a violent narcissist and my mother was depressive, suicidal. So a few years ago, I attracted probably the best lesson in the world. He was a chain-smoking alcoholic, ice addicted. In Australia, ice is crystal meth, I think you call it there. Crack?
Yeah, with different names for it. Some others might know better than I do.
Oh, anyway, so I left him after about a year. I've still got PTSD from my life, but I'm not even sure what I'm asking. I've got a lot to give, and I've got a lot of ability to love and nurture. And I'm just wondering, I try to keep my vibration high, and I try to help people where I can. I've moved to a new area to get away from Prince Charming and to not get murdered. And because I've chosen not to be jabbed, I can't even volunteer for things. I'm not sure if there's a way I can attract my twin soul, but it feels like I've missed them since I was a really young child. And I feel as if I've got a lot to do and a lot to give, but I'm kind of really frustrated because I need to get out of my own way. What's my question? Is there something that's really obvious that I can do, please, to self-actualize, to use a wanky term?
Let's see, I raised my hand, so let me, so I don't know if you have anything similar to a restraining order or any way that you legally.
Oh, no. With a narcissist, you don't do that because it's like setting them a challenge.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, gosh. I mean, you moved away.
I think I'm physically safe, thank God.
Okay.
You're very social. Once you do everything logical, it's up to God and the angels. You know, there's just that much you can do. So
you're very social. Connecting with people is so important to you. And it sounded like you were saying you can't volunteer or you can't. I know you're wanting to stay like more quiet publicly. I hope that you're getting out with enough people. It just seems like that's super important for you. In whatever way that you can, whatever stage of lockdown you're in. And I know also, so probably part of your tendencies I see in your eyes is that you have a tendency to see people's potential more so than where they really are right now. Right. So
I think that's a massive understatement.
So part of that is practicing. Where are people right now? Where are people right now? Everyone that you connect with, everyone that you see, where are they right now? Where are they right now? And honor, like, this is a potential I see, and where are they right now? So everyone that you interact with, and for people that grew up with narcissists or others that are not safe, animals are totally safe. So that's great. The connections with them. My mom was super depressed. My grandmother was the narcissist. And I keep seeing just even more today how my mother was narcissistic in some ways too. So yeah, lots of burdens from going through this. Have really good friends that can help you check that and make sure that when you date someone that they don't exclude any of the other people in your life. So have your friends really get to know this person too, and then trust them, and come to trust yourself more too. It's look back, not to blame yourself, but look back to how you missed things in the beginning with him. See where the places are where you're more vulnerable, where you're not noticing, right? So you can get more discerning on those kinds of things. Yeah.
The good thing is I don't let people treat me like shit anymore. So I'm not going to send him a thank you card, but it certainly benefited me enormously. And I'm better able to support other people leaving abusive situations because I understand better. So they're all major wins.
It's great.
But now I live out in the bush, ages away from everybody on my own.
Okay. Oh, you do. And people are so important to you. So it might be important that you find yourself in another city where a bunch of other people are.
No, I love being in the country, and this is very healing. My dream is to make a place that can give victims of abuse experiences of unconditional love, and it's very healing and gentle here.
It's just online dating does work all around the world, and I would recommend that you go looking for other people that want to live out there and have that purpose, share that purpose, and want to help people in the same way. So I know that, and want to build a community. So I know they're out there. All right. Let's see. We've got lots of us in line. You are welcome. We've got Stephanie, Sadie and Asante, Audrey, Bonnie, Jay Angel. All right, go ahead, Stephanie.
Everyone wants to help you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
What I got when you said I am intense, that was almost the first thing you said. I have said those same words for such a long time until someone suggested that maybe intensity is a good thing, and that I can be passionate and take the negativity out of that concept. And I thought, I actually that feels better. It doesn't feel
If
so.
I'm speaking to somebody on a dating site, then yes, I'll use the adjective passionate. But with you, we're all being, this is kind of a bullshit free zone. So I just put it on the table. But you're right. I'm attracted to other people who are intense, but I scare people away.
And so
and that's okay too, but
through my healing journey, what I've learned is self-acceptance goes such a long way with where people can meet you. Because all of a sudden then you're more in love with yourself, you're more okay with who you are as a human, and that reflects love to other people, and they see that instead of seeing just the intensity.
It makes sense when one has been raised in a hypercritical environment. And when my mother killed herself, she even left a note partially blaming me. So it's just taking a lot of reprogramming of myself to consider myself worthy. And a lot of the time I feel like a waste of oxygen. But I know many people will say to me, do you know how much you helped me several years ago? And it makes me feel pleased to be alive for that minute, but then it's very easy to revert to the default mode of self-hatred and feeling unworthy.
Right. Well, how much of your life is in a spiritual practice? Do you have spiritual practices?
I saw the number 98%, but that's probably nonsense.
The reason I ask is one of those things about self-acceptance was realizing my divinity, that I am connected to God, that I am a spirit having a physical journey, and that power, like that real power, it made it so even the painful experiences of my life had some kind of purpose that I could grow from, rather than all of that pain that I can look back on and like point at it and say, this is why I'm this and this is why I'm that. Instead, I've been able to see it all and allow myself to be okay with all of it. I've had a lot of pain in my life. I haven't had the pain that you have, but I understand that feeling of self-loathing and the feeling of just not knowing how to heal until all of a sudden.
If I had to sum it all up, how I feel about myself, I'd say never enough. It's never enough. I'm never enough. And I try so hard in every facet of my life, and I'm a little bit tired. I'd just like to get off that mouse wheel.
Yeah, maybe try a different one. Like
Stephanie, sorry, we're out of time.
Minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Lorelai.
Right. And Jacqueline, you keep talking about being intense. Are you intense enough? All right, great.
You clever girl. You clever girl. You just very quickly reframed by being incorrect. I am sufficiently intense. Thank you.
That's great. I love your energy. So we've got Sadie and Asante next.
Thank you.
Jacqueline, hello. When I was listening to you, you were asking.
I'm just trying to find you. Sorry. Oh, there you are. Hello. Sorry.
When you were asking about like next steps and what to do, I can't remember the question the exact way you phrased it, but what stood out to me with the experiences that you've had and the childhood that you've had, it sounds to me like you would benefit greatly from soul retrieval, getting back some of the parts of yourself that might be stuck back in traumatic experiences, and also extracting your parents' energy from your aura, because it's certainly stuck in there and causing some real pain. You're just holding on to that, and it's hard to move past that when you're dealing with other people's energy.
Just a little. And any money I've ever had has gone on healers and psychologists and counseling and blah blah, and I just blah. enough.
Enough. Okay. Yeah, that's, or maybe working with some cord cutting ritual yourself if you've done any of that cord cutting for
like healing the ties that bind.
Yeah, to your parents, to your ancestors, to anybody that's caused you harm, at least release their energy from you and clear it out of your aura.
I'll have to find a healer with 3 days spare.
Anyway, I think those things, really working with those past energies and clearing those from yourself would be really, really beneficial to help you move forward in your power, in your strength, so you're in your own energy and not trying to navigate your way with other people's energy and their grief and trauma. So
thank you.
Yeah, you're
sorry about the shakiness. I'm just having trouble holding the phone steady.
No, that's okay. Our heart goes out to you. I'm sorry for the pain.
Oh, thank you. I'm of the belief that before we incarnate, our souls select it. So regrettably, when I learned enough to take responsibility, I can't complain anymore. It's like all the fun's gone out of it.
Yeah, no, I'm of the same belief. I know that I chose my stuff. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt like hell, though, So
there's a teeny bit from time to time.
There's holding the two. There's holding the two realities. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks.
But I find sometimes people say, "Why are you so positive?" And I say, "Well, if we're looking for the lesson and if we're looking for the gift, it's a double win. So there's not really a lot of space to be negative."
That's beautiful. Yeah.
But then every now and again, I'll eat 15 pieces of toast. But moving right on.
Thank you.
That's great, Jacqueline. I'm playing with affirmations for you in the chat. So one of them is, I've had enough. I am enough.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Or were you copying what I said?
Yes. I'm taking your words and using it for your
I see. Because I was going to say that's a coincidence. There's such a specific card.
I've had enough. I am enough. Right. All right. We've got Audrey next.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, Jacqueline. Okay, so the first card, when you started talking, the first card that I drew was this card. I said self-worth. And that is just a way that the spirit guide, that the lady spirit is with us here, who is so on point. And she says that everything that you're talking about, it's not like beating around the bush. It's not to say, oh, well, this person is not good or that person is not good, but actually your lesson of this lifetime is very much about the self-worth. Now, going back to your parents, because they, if you believe in reincarnation, then you know that we've chosen to be in a certain family.
Yeah, I just think that my soul was off its face when it made some of its decisions, but go on.
Yes. Yeah. So either we're trying to take on some of their character, their traits, or we are using them as springboard to be opposite, different, to be who they're not, and then to show us the difference, the contrast. And then so the spirit guide definitely says, well, heed the messengers. And your parents were the messengers, even in their very shrewd way or rude way, their broken ways. And your mom, when she committed suicide, it is not to do harm to you, but to hurt herself. So I definitely get that message from her that she was in pain.
And it was good for her. It was a very sensible step
so
to
the last
take.
thing that she was thinking about is, oh, how am I doing to my daughter? Because she couldn't take care of the burden that was on her shoulder. It's not a reflection of you, but of course you took the blunt, and then you that became a part of your life journey. But a lot of the loving light to you, and everything that Lorelei said was from loving perspective, and I'm sure that we all have loving messages for you. And I want to tell you one more thing before I go, is that you, from what I saw in astrology, you're at the end of a cycle. So all of this that we're talking about right now is like almost done. You're almost done. So yes.
He's good.
Yeah. you're going to probably come back next month or by fall, and you say, I'm a new person now. So I want to tell you that, you know, maybe looking in hindsight, oh, the last 30 years of my life I've been doing this, or I've been learning this. But yeah, really, you are at the end of that cycle now. Please have hope, and you know you can do it. Yes.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Audrey. We've got
Bless you.
Bonnie is next.
Hi, Jacqueline. Bonnie here. I am
here
sending
you are.
my heart to you and my prayers to you for your life's journey has been super, super hard. Know that there is hope, as Audrey just reflected. I do want to address something that I believe has happened in your case with the narcissistic, violent father figure. The mother who has taken her life and has in some form placed blame on you, guilt. And you have attracted other partners who were drug abusers and kind of had those same violent tendencies. It's that same pattern that needs breaking, right? I believe between the narcissistic father and the suicidal mother that you may have developed, for lack of a better description, kind of a fixer personality. Right? Sometimes because our hearts are so big, right? We want to be able to fix it. Oh my gosh, this person is struggling. I care so deeply. And I had these people that I loved so deeply, hurt so deeply. So I naturally want to try to break that chain. And I want to fix these people so that they don't end up hurting people like those people did. Does that resonate with you?
100%. The thing is that this guy, I call him Prince Charming, who I left a few years ago, he kind of encapsulated everything, and it forced me to see it all. And I've always had wounded birds in my life, and that's cool. I'm happy to help where I can. But he taught me, first of all, why did I let anybody treat me so badly? And secondly, if a person doesn't want to heal, that's their choice, and it's not my place to presume what's good for them. And so he's just helped me on so many different levels, but now I'm a lot more vigilant, thank God.
Excellent. So that last relationship taught you were a fixer. Now you know, so you can do better going forward. Try to treat your mindset as the observer instead of a fixer. Obviously, we're all learning. You've just learned you can be responsible for fixing this person right here. They are responsible for fixing themselves. Along your path, you're carrying a very heavy burden. So you definitely need to increase your self-care. I know we talk about that a lot, but it's super important. I took
lots of notes on what you all said.
Yes, I mean, just think of yourself as the most important vessel in your life. And if you can fill that vessel with the love you deserve, you're going to not want to fix other people. You're going to want to connect and support and love people where they're at, right? They're responsible for fixing themselves. Now,
I think this is probably the hardest lesson I've ever faced.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And I was a fixer too. So I can relate to that. I understand when your heart's that big and you call your energy intense. I call it real, passionate. You know who you are. I don't have to give you any speech on authenticity because you know who you are. You're very intensely you. You're intensely real. That scares some people away when they're on their other journey. They're intimidated by that. So you need somebody that's equally matched and able to handle your energy.
Wait,
you will find it. I'm so sorry. I gotcha. I'm gonna let you go. I wish you well on your journey, my dear.
Thank you so much. God bless
Absolutely.
you.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
so much. Thanks so much, Bonnie. The hardest thing for all of us on this panel is that we have so much we want to share and there's only so much time. We all go through this. Jay Angel is next and then Henry.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
I would love to take you through all the cards that I felt driven to do for you. However, the first card that I got, because there's no coincidence with spirit. As soon as I saw you, I just felt a bunch of energy, yellow, orange color aura, very healing. And when I pull a card, The car is color orange. However, there's rejection at the bottom, which explains feelings of rejections. I'm afraid of people rejecting me. Why is this happening to me? And after that car, I was, wait, there's a part of this car that feels right. And but I want to see the positive side of this, like what's going on. Like she might be onto something. And the card that I pulled, the White Witch, be the light.
Right.
Um,
That's good.
so I would say I do feel as if you're a healer. Like literally, that's all the energy that I am feeling. To some point that I just want to be next to you, because I feel that people that get close to you, the closer they get that healing, even if you are unconscious about it, even if they don't know what's going on. I feel that there's a bunch of healing energy there. And then I do feel that now is the time to probably look into exploring more about your spiritual path. If that's something that is of interest to you, I feel that you have a team of spirit guides behind you, supporting you. And I feel that this is the breakthrough moment for you. In the countryside, the way you like it. I'm not sure if you have pets, if you have a garden, but that sounds like something that you can take that energy outside.
I've got
Because
chickens
sometimes...
and ducks and dog and cat and strange alpacas.
Nice. I love that. Yes, I feel that that energy, you really need to do something with it. And usually is to look for that output for your energy. And the last card I withdrew was this one, which speaks all about victory, success, breakthrough, being a leader. And hey, I'm intense too. That's how I describe myself. When I moved from Puerto Rico to the West Coast, I feel that I am too much, but at the end of the day, I feel that this is all I can give. So really, I would like for you to, like Stephanie was saying, change that word, and it's just passion what's behind you. But I would really encourage you to look more into that spiritual path and what you like to do with it.
Thank you. Bless you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, J. Angel. We've got Henry and then Joy.
Thank you.
Oh, Jacqueline, I have so much. I don't know if I can get through it. Like so many no's. Okay, so I relate to a lot, like being intense and all these things, and something around my mom's death. It was different than your situation. She didn't blame me, but I blamed me. So anyway, I'm just going to rattle through it, and hopefully you can kind of take from it what works for you. So the first thing is that I experienced intensity being too intense. This was the refrain. You're too intense all the time by everyone. And eventually I was blessed to come across this, that intensity can become an addiction because it heightens the stimulus of life, of the experience of life. It's like more serotonin, more oxytocin, all of that. So we can become addicted to intensity. Secondly, intensity, the issue with it is that it can not respect another person's boundaries, and then they feel unsafe, and then so they start to pull up walls. So it's really important to learn to be able to be circumspect with this intensity and check with the other person if that works for them. But then also the intensity then leads to rejection. And so what you can do there is to, as soon as you experience that rejection, you can go into sweet talking yourself. You're just perfect the way you are, and I accept you with all your intensity. Speak to yourself, because your subconscious doesn't know it's just you talking. It feels like as if somebody else were validating you. So that I totally get, similar to what J. Angel was saying, very important how you can channel all of this is by creating a strong relationship with the divine, whatever that is for you. Channel all of that, because the divine cannot possibly, it's like you can't be too much for the divine or God or whatever you would call it. You can never be too much. they can handle it, or it, or she, or he can handle
We
it.
speak a lot at the moment. We're just not seeing eye to eye.
Well, that's, take that as you want. Just keep channeling it in that direction. Really important for you to heal that devastation of what your mom did to you. Cord cutting, like was mentioned by Sadie and Asante. Cord cutting, super important, because you're probably still really connected. Secondly, also realize that somebody killing themselves and then blaming some person is super, super common. There's nothing cosmic about that. This is not an unusual or special circumstance. Like my mom killed herself, and I feel I blame myself. I could have prevented it. Super common. Completely was a breakthrough for me to realize there are millions of people who have experienced that same thing, and they were able to move on. It just kind of demystified it and kind of took the cosmicness out of it. It might do that for you.
I hear what you're saying. In my instance, it was a bit easier because I was pleased for her.
Yeah, well, good. But you know, you did bring it up. So I think that it's not healed yet. You asked, how
Henry,
can
it's
I
over 3 minutes, so
self-actualize?
just see what you can still do.
Okay, I'll finish the sentence and then I'm actually done. Thank you so much. How, your question was how you can self-actualize. And I think how you can self-actualize is by taking all this crap that you're dealing with being in this world and pour it into the relationship with the divine. That is where you'll self-actualize. Instead of trying to do this in the material world, do this in the metaphysical world.
Please don't tell me I'm never going to have a real partner. I don't want to marry God.
When
it's
you
really
marry,
boring going out to dinner with
when
God.
you marry God, you marry yourself. So marry yourself first.
I don't want to marry myself.
Then keep evolving yourself until you want to marry yourself, because nobody else can want to marry you if you don't want to marry you.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Blessings.
I'll invite you all to the wedding.
We'd love to come play with you. Joy's next.
Thank you, Lorelai. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Well, first I wanted to say, you know, it's great that you're working with animals because they're all about love energy, and that unconditional love is the pattern, the true pattern of love that you want to repeat. I drew a few cards for you, so I'll try to be quick. The first one was legacy, which persistence, which means you keep going no matter what. And
Yes.
you've been through so much and you've conquered everything. So, you know, like people have been saying, you have great energy. You might not be aware of it, but you have survivor's energy. And that means you're really a lot stronger than you might think. But then, you know, that also means you have to pay attention to yourself and give yourself credit instead of always trying to help other people. Your legacy is, it sounds like your legacy is helping others get through things, you know, the same way you've gotten through things. And I think that, you know, like Henry said, since you mentioned your mother, you probably haven't quite healed from that. But of course, you have to remember that, you know, that is something that happened because she was in pain and it has nothing to do with you. So
her parents were abusive. So yeah.
Right.
And then she married my violent narcissistic father. So it made a lot of sense.
Right. So it's important, especially that you forgive her because, you know, there was probably nothing, she felt like there was nothing she could do. The second card was wisdom, asking questions, which is something that I think that you've really achieved in going through everything. And that's one of the silver linings of having such a difficult life. And so
I wouldn't be able to help people the way I am if I didn't understand.
Exactly. That gives you a rare insight into a lot of people's difficulties. And so one of the things that comes up with wisdom is self-knowledge. And so one of the biggest things I got from you is self-love. And that means very 3D self-love. So what kinds of things feel good to you? What do you like to do? What gives you pleasure?
Most of all, writing comedy and my animals.
Oh, great. Great. Yes, the animals. Yes. Well, maybe have you thought about trying to do comedy and something with comedy?
Oh, I've been published and I write comedic poetry, but at the moment, because I'm embarrassed, humiliated, but this is my home at the moment. Out here in the bush in Australia, I live in a house where it looks as if a bomb's gone off because I didn't have time to pack and move in a normal way because it wasn't safe to remain in my old place. And here in Australia, in the country, we had a big mouse and rat plague. And I don't know if you've experienced it, but they're not really nice to your possessions. So almost everything I have has to be disinfected and cleaned down before I can put it away. And nobody comes here because I'm so humiliated. And so showing you where I live, as much as I was aware it would make me feel ashamed, it was, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. This was worth like 2 billion words.
Well, I know that it's difficult sometimes to feel positive when your surroundings are not what you want. So that's something to work on. But in the meantime, do you like things like
Joy, just to finish up soon.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, to hurry. The other things were independence, which is a time to do things your own way. And I would say, that includes self-care, things like being in nature and taking hot baths. I really recommend that. And then the last thing is transcendence and achieving success. So I sense that this is where you're going because you have such a strong spirit. And that means, look at your victories and how you felt every time that happened and try to reproduce that feeling when you do things and give yourself credit. And then when you are strong in yourself, that's when you'll attract your best partners.
Amen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Bless you.
Sure. Best of luck.
Thank you. Amen.
Thanks so much, Joy. Anyone have anything else for Jacqueline? I thought I saw another hand up there a little while ago, but yeah, Jacqueline, you're lovely. I think we're all enjoying you very much. So please, I don't think anyone here was scared by seeing where you live. Like it's great. We all appreciate you so much. So hope that you are taking some of this in and creating appreciation for yourself more and more.
Thank you. Can I just say to all of you, for me, listening in today, because I'm in such overwhelm, I almost didn't because I went, I can't take anything more in, but it's made me feel so much, not quite more normal, but less aberrant and better understood. And it's really lovely to see kindred spirits and just like say hello as you're walking on a path towards a hopefully lighter area. So thank you very much. And I appreciate it incredibly.
Oh, we're so glad. Thank you so much. We're so glad we've had this impact on you. And one of the people in the audience, who's also one of our practitioners, said Jacqueline is so full of life.
Thank you. I'm laughing because I contemplate suicide so often every day, but sometimes that does make you far more aware of life. And as soon as I can actually find the flaw in here, I will go back to writing. So I will be able to write about some of my challenging times, but because I infuse my writing with comedy, it makes it more emotionally accessible for people. It's not quite as confronting if it's not really serious. So I hope to be able to help people that way, God willing.
Great.
Yeah, or else find a hitman.
That's really a great outlet. The more you do that, I think the better you'll feel about it too.
Please God.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we have lots of online events here. Welcome to join our community anytime.
Thank you. Bless you.
So welcome. All right, let's see. So practitioners, we all get a chance to share again about who we are and what we do and how to reach us. I know someone might have had to leave right at 9:30. Who wants to go first? Like who is needing to jump off the call? Just want to make sure if anyone needs to dash out, go first.
We'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sadie.
Hello, I'm Asante.
We're Merkaba Heart. We do sound healing and shamanic practices to support clearing negative, toxic, fearful, traumatic energies. We're especially passionate about ancestral trauma, healing our ancestors and healing the inherited grief and traumatic energies that we've gotten from all of our societal systems and conditioning. We offer a variety of programs and healing sessions and community events and monthly ongoing courses and all sorts of stuff. You can find out a lot more information about us and how we work together. We do our energy healing sessions together. So 2 practitioners at once just offer a really supercharged, ultra rich and layered healing experience that will kind of just blow your mind.
Definitely. And Sadie is definitely the talker.
As you can see,
As
right?
you-
Yeah. That's funny. So, you can learn more about us at our website, www.merkabaheart.com.
And it's been a real pleasure to be here with all of
Absolutely.
you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
And we really look forward to sharing this forum with you all again in the future.
Yeah, and thank you, Lorelei. Just
Thank you,
amazing,
Lorelei.
amazing space created here. Thanks all.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for being here. And you offer 10% off single sessions. Coupon code is in the chat for those of you that are here today. All right, great. Who wants to go next?
Oh, whoops. Wrong one.
Who wants to go next? Okay, Stephanie, go ahead. And then we've got Marcy and Henry.
Oh, wow. It's been a long day for me. Let's see. I'm Stephanie Buckland. I'm a holistic lifestyle coach, intuitive Reiki practitioner, psychic, medium, clairvoyant, sensu. I have so much to offer, so much love. And I am at stephaniebuckland.com. I'm one of the few Stephanie Bucklands in the world. And yes, and Lorelei just posted the link for the event that's happening, and I'm turning pink. That's okay. I love this. I don't even know what to call this. This is so beautiful. Everything is beautiful. The intuitive panel is beautiful. These connections are beautiful. All of you healers are beautiful. I am just in love. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And to read off your website, it is stephaniebuckland.com. Great. And there's also a link in the chat for everyone if they want to share feedback with us and get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. We have Marcy next, and then Henry, and then Bonnie. Go ahead, Marcy. Let's get you unmuted.
All right, we good?
Yep.
Okay. It's all great. This is the first time I've done the group session, and I love it because then everybody's able to confer with each other. And
Right.
then, so if you look at I don't have a website, but you could either link me in or Marcy Kosich, just mention MeWe. That way I know it's from MeWe. And my email is marcikosich2@gmail.com. My YouTube tones, I've been doing them for years, under Marcy Kosich, and my books are under Marcy Kosich on Amazon.
Thanks so much, Marcy. It's been great having you here again. So glad we got the sound working so we can all hear what you do. All right, Henry is next, and then Bonnie, Audrey, and Joy.
All right, Henry India Holden at henryindiaholden.com. I'm first and foremost an ecotherapeutic life coach, and this ecotherapy is newer ever since I took my class with Pacifica, but it's been really in my heart all this time. We can heal with the more than human world, with what we tend to call nature. We are nature, and when we are connecting with nature on an equal footing, us being nature reblossoms. And this is a tremendously healing experience. I also use the Tarot and Oracle deck that I've developed. And I'm a Reiki master and a couple other things too that I just can't even think of. I mainly help people with their soul purpose. This tends to be what I'm an expert at. It took me a long time to figure out, with all the stuff I'm interested in, what the heck is actually the thing that I want to be doing. So I can help people get focused. I can help them develop the action step, the self-actualization piece. That's what I'm really good at. And that's what I'd love to help you with. And I have to say, Stephanie, like everything you said, I'm just not quite as effusive as you are, but like, I love everybody, love this. That's, yeah, I totally relate. Thank you for being that in this space.
And you're at Henry.
Oh, yeah, one more thing. You can set up a free conversation with me for 30 minutes to find out if you feel we're a good fit. And the link is in the chat.
And people can find you at henryindiaholden.com, Henry at henryhello.com.
Yeah. You got it.
Great. And Bonnie is next.
Hi all, Bonnie Rigsby again, Let Your Soul Breathe. You can find me at letyoursoulbreathe.com. I want to help you learn to rock your genuine vibe. I am great at trying to help you learn and empower yourself with tools to uncover the layers that society and culture has programmed and your life experience has programmed to a version of maybe an avatar that you don't recognize anymore. It's time to discover who you really are in this time of transformation. Once you start to uncover those layers, you learn more peace, joy, and purpose exist for you to enjoy. So I hope that you will reach out to me. Again, I'm all about stress management. I can do energetic healing. I can cleanse your home. My umbrella of stress is huge. There's a lot we can do, y'all, and I want to hit you at your customized level where you're at. So I hope that you will reach out to me. I've got some specials today that I'm sure Lorelei will post in the chat box, but I would love to help you learn to love yourself again and approach you where you are with no judgment, with love, and with a warm space to help you. I'm like Stephanie, I'm a tree hugger. I just love everyone. I love y'all. I love nature. I'm here to share this love with my open heart. So just let me know if you need me, if I'm the coach for you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Bonnie. And to mention your website, it's letyoursoulbreathe.com. Lovely name. And for those of you looking in the chat, you'll see that not only is there a special on working with Bonnie, there's also a crystal special in there. So you can get crystals at like 29% off. Look in the chat. All right, next we have Audrey and then Joy.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have been here. My name is Audrey Lee. I do astrology, numerology, tarot, destiny cards, and many other cards, and communicating with the spirits. I always believe that knowledge is power. So I want to teach people how to look into their own lives. I have classes at my meetup every Monday or every other Friday. So lots of little classes or workshops. I want to teach you how to do yourself, how to understand. And then, of course, we provide a very supportive community. So please come to find me at audreyleemetaphysics.com. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thanks so much, Joy. And let's see. Yeah, so Audrey Lee, sorry, audreyleemetaphysics.com. Thank you so much, Audrey. All right, great. And we have Joy next. Go ahead, Joy.
Thank you, Lorelei. My name is Joy Lee. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. I'm certified in hand mudras, which are an energy healing modality similar to Reiki. Mudra work can be done remotely. In fact, most of my sessions have been online. I also do intuitive oracle card readings, and I'm a distributor of LifeWave patches, which are a wonderful new modality that operate on the principle of phototherapy to induce dramatic healing and revitalizing results. You can reach me at by email at joyfullove144. That's with one L, JOYFULOVE 144 805-450-7180 or 805-450-7180. And I have a couple of event specials, 30 minutes for $25 or 50 minutes for $40. And I also have a first 30-minute consultation free. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you everyone for your questions. And it was a wonderful panel to be with. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Joy. And then I think we've got Jay Angel, and who else do we have left?
Yes. Well, hi, my name is Jay Angel, pronounced he, him. And oh my God, this is my first panel. So I first knew about the panels attending just as part of the audience, doing the practice circles, their learning circles. I've been around this environment my entire life. I've experienced life from a very unique perspective. I've seen and heard things. I keep seeing and hearing things, but some of the modalities that I do practice, I do teach, I can teach people psychic tools. I can give energy healings, help with meditations and other modalities of magic, including tarot, oracles, sigils, and prayers. I do approach my work in a very intuitive way. I always ask to spirit what needs to come through at that very moment that could help the person and guide them through their path. And I am all about authenticity. So I am very straightforward when I get a message, and that's how I deliver it. And then I just launched my website this week. I do have a special for now. It will be one, I believe, I'm sorry, $1 per minute for a minimum of 20-minute session. And you can find my webpage on thehighportal.square.site. And I recently opened an Instagram account too under the same name, The High Portal. And you will find there the webpage, and you will find there my email account.
Thanks so much, Jay Angel. All right, did we get everybody? Did we get everybody? All right, there's also me. I'm Lorelei Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes, read your body, read your soul, and answer questions about your soul, your purpose, your path, your lessons, and answer questions about career, relationships. I help you find a soulmate with matchmaking, hire great people to work with, all kinds of different things. I'll put my information in the chat too. And I have approximately 40% off special if you want to do work with me from having been here at the event. My general website that links to everything else is LorelaiShimayo.com. That's LaurelISHIMAYO.com. And I've got lots of different events coming up. In addition to all the MeWe events, I've got Authentic Relating. I'm going to be in Eugene for one of our MeWe fairs in a week and a half, in a week, I guess, almost. And Thursday, I have Authentic Relating in person in Eugene. Some of our MeWe events coming up, we have the Metaphysics and Wellness, Metaphysics and Intuition Practice Circle this Saturday, tomorrow, from 4 to 6 p.m. You're welcome to drop in anytime and do practice sessions with peers. On Wednesday, we have Paganism and Ecotherapy. That's on the 29th, so that's 2.5 weeks away. Thursday, June 30, we have an Anything and Everything training panel. So this is for practitioners that are new, sharing new modalities, getting practice being on stage. It's a panel like this, except there are fewer people on the panel. This has been a wild, crazy panel again, lots of us on here, and we give support to these new practitioners. So there's someone else that helps hold space for them as they share their gifts. And then Saturday, July 9, we have Demystifying and Reclaiming the Metaphysics of Aging. Sunday, July 10, we have Metaphysics and Wellness MeWe Fair. So we have about 16 practitioners offering their work in a fair context. We answer questions from the audience briefly in the first hour in this main room, and then practitioners will be in breakout rooms. So public breakout rooms where people can move from room to room and chat with practitioners, listen to all kinds of talks, group readings and healings. And there's a set of private breakout rooms for doing sessions at the fair as well, if you want to. Everyone has specials just like we do tonight. So you can meet with us outside and get smaller samples, smaller prices to work with us privately. In person, I mentioned we're going to be in Eugene June 25 and 26. And then in July, we're going to be in Anacortes. That's the 16th and 17th. And then we'll be back in Bellevue, August 27, 28. And we have a whole list of events for the fall in Portland, Eugene, and in the Seattle area. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time for the drawing. If you'd like to give us feedback on today, we appreciate that very much. And if you want to give us your email address, you'll be able to be in touch with the practitioners afterwards, and you'll get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. Thanks everyone for being here. Turn off the recording. Everything's at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. Thanks everyone for asking questions and for holding space as we answer. Thanks.